He's like, we got some water-free water in the back if you need.
Water-free water. You ready for that?
So wait, you said he had what back there? Unsweetened
black ice. No, sparkling unsweetened black iced tea.
That's crazy.
What happened?
Good.
What I just hear? Was that the toilet?
What? The toilet?
You didn't hear that? I heard like. You didn't hear that?
No. It's because you ate too many of them cherries.
You didn't hear that?
No.
It's because you're sleep deprived. You can start seeing
things.
Yeah. Oh man.
Damn.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday! Oh my bad.
No, that's perfect.
Welcome everybody to the Terrible Reception Podcast. This is episode 50.
Oh man, you made it to episode 50.
You did this 50 times?
Yeah.
We've done this 50 times.
And you still ain't got 3 views?
No, actually.
I'm kidding. There's sound effects?
Yes. Okay. 50.
Just turn off the sexy voice, man.
All right.
50. Episode 50.
Wow.
Still got 3 views. I am one of your hosts, Jay Suarez, a.k.a. Jet Plane Jay on social media platforms. And right in front of me is...
your other host, Trap Jesus, a.k.a. Parlay. That's my regular name that you're only going to know me by. And today we have a very special guest.
I'm Chris.
He's Chris.
This is Chris.
Formerly known as C-Po.
Chris Porter.
Chris Porter.
Chris Porter.
Yes.
Tell us about you, Chris Porter. Who are you? Why are you here?
He's like, I was forced into this room.
Let's deal with one question at a time here. I'm an artist. I'm a creator. I'm a fellow New Jerseyan. That's how you talk about it.
See, the voice got sexy too.
Yeah, because you got. I'm trying to get.
See, he's like,
you know
I'm
why?
an entrepreneur. I'm a.
Yo, this is the problem. Let's go.
He's like, I'm a paraplegic.
Hey, listen.
It sounds good.
Listen, terrible reception. It's the Porter Pod tonight. All right,
Porter Pod.
It's the Porter Pod.
Porter Pod.
I might
Ready?
start that.
Everybody, take the Porter Pod.
I might name that Porter Pod.
I think that's the sound you
It's
heard
like a porta potty.
Here's for all the people, all the creators out there, all the podcasters, everyone who has a camera on you. This is what happens, right? The camera's on you, and it becomes like the other person in the room.
Yeah.
And you start playing to the person in the room, and you start acting like you think you should act.
Exactly.
And you don't even know what that is. And then you start talking sexy and weird, and you start talking how you think you should sound.
So what happens when like Peter McKinnon does like a video on YouTube and he's like, "Hey guys, it's Peter McKinnon," and then like maybe in real life he's like, "What's up, bro?"
No, yeah, that could be true.
He probably does like 50 takes. He's like, fuck,
I don't think anymore. Once you do as many as him,
True.
Like after 50 podcasts, you shouldn't start the show telling people who you are because you did it. They shouldn't know you.
That's true.
50 times.
But what if somebody stumbles across episode 50 first before they do anything else?
And where would they stumble on?
They have to
YouTube.
like
YouTube.
subscribe.
With your
Apple
name
Podcasts.
on the bottom of the shit.
Yeah, maybe.
So
people are dumb.
I love the podcasts that start in the middle of a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh yeah, fruits and berries and shit. And you're like, what? You're trying to like.
That's how this one's gonna start.
Okay.
Believe me.
You're like, what? What's happening here?
Fruits and berries.
They're just gonna start with, did you guys hear that flushing sound?
Yo, that's actually awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I love it.
So you were criticizing us for our sexy voices while we have
That's what I do. Ask Rich the whole ride to where we go. I'm like, and I don't do it on purpose. I'm just like, why do you have your hair like that? It's stupid. Like, who does that? Is that from France?
Yeah, you're like, did you use a curler this morning?
Yeah, I don't know. It's anger. I have anger inside. It's not you. It's me.
We
It's
did
okay.
We
It's
did
okay.
this last time with Jules. He was the last guest. We have this button. It's the red button, right? And you have to make your own commercial to it.
Mhm.
So like, I'm gonna press this button, and since you're such an animated person, I want you to like make an infomercial for it.
About what?
Make your own voice, sell your own thing, whatever it may be.
It's got to be like crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Wait, I just have to come up with a product.
yeah. You ready?
Let's say
It's kind of like an infomercial. You know how infomercials are between like Hot 97 and shit like
it's
that.
still stupid shit.
Yeah. So like
Like
I
a
want
hoodie
you to
with-
sell
a
something
hoodie with no
really
hood.
stupid to us right now. You ready?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, come over here, look over here. We have dinks. Tonight we are selling dinks. These are pads that you put into your sneakers. Dinks means don't stink, don't stink. So if you've been running around outside without your socks or your shoes on and it's getting really moist and disgusting, you put your dinks right on top of the sole of your sneakers and poof, the refreshing smell comes right out the bottom. Dinks. Get them now, get them today. $9.99.
Wow, that was beautiful.
That's dinks? Dinks?
Yeah, that was dinks. Make sure you get dinks.
That was great. That was fucking.
That was great.
Oh, they don't stink dinks.
I think we're gonna start doing that moving forward.
Well,
Whenever we have a
Really
guest, they have to sell
difficult. I don't
something.
think you should do that to everybody.
That was great.
that was
great
phenomenal.
improv.
But I mean, but we know who you are. But
Well,
We knew you were gonna knock that shit out the park.
that was scary.
well, let's get into it.
So, Christopher Porter.
Is this
go
an
by
interview?
Christopher- Yeah.
I don't want to be interviewed.
Okay, we
do
don't
it.
have to be.
You don't have to be. What are your thoughts on Biden, sir?
What's your thoughts on Biden versus President Trump in the all 2021? No, I'm kidding.
Hope he makes it.
Doesn't have to be an interview. It's just a conversation.
Yeah, it's just a conversation. We're keeping it cool.
You put me in the middle, so I'm start.
It's a fucked up Oreo that came out. It's like one of those, like, you know, the wheat, not the wheat, the vanilla Oreos.
You would have
but like
wheat-
there's two
wheat-
cookies.
He would have wheat Oreos over there next to his waterless water in the back. And
That's why we drink whiskey. It's the only real thing left.
So basically, we have you as our guest, right? So we want to promote you, whatever you do.
I don't want to be promoted.
Okay.
I'm just
Why are you here?
I just love discomfort. Sorry.
I love discomfort. This guy like literally has like this like impaling like spikes on his seat. He sits on it. Honey's like, his like wife comes in like, honey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm bleeding from my anus right now. I feel right at home. You're like, come on.
I like discomfort. You know what's funny? And I know we're all artists in different ways and creators. For everybody that doesn't know, the last 17 years, I'm a host, so I do all the big time.
Yes.
From bar mitzvahs to I host the ball dropping in Times Square on New Year's Eve. Being uncomfortable and being used to being uncomfortable
Yes.
makes you an amazing performer.
You were telling me.
That's what it's about. Can you perform when the lights are on you and things aren't going as they're supposed to be?
You were telling me your situation in Elizabeth at what was the club that Eddie G opened? You were doing.
One?
You
There
were
was
doing.
like 20 of them.
I know. Like the most recent one, that like you did the pizza song.
Oh no, I think that's a different club. That's Costa and Dimitri. That's Mr. East.
Okay,
Mr.
Mr. East.
Yeah,
All right, so you were at Mr. East, and tell him about like that discomfort.
Oh yeah, see, this is good. See, that's alley-oop. Okay, so
All right.
let me tell you a story. This is how it go. So, and I'll tell Jay because Jay, you know,
I haven't heard the story.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, for everybody listening, I have a song called Pizza Pizza, and I know that's really weird. So when I get into my artist creative mode, I don't think at all. I know you're not supposed to think, you're supposed to create, but since I'm like, I don't want to say weird, I'm just like, I come up with things and I don't have a rhyme or reason.
Okay.
And
I
that's
think that's what we admire about your process.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know
see,
what I'm
but that's good and bad because then you don't have a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so one day I could murder your whole family in the song, and the next day I could be like, "Baby shark." Do, 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 do. So when you're trying to sell your stuff, you kind of need to be a brand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I made this pizza song. I don't know because I was thinking about all the stuff we're talking about with video and commercializing stuff, and I made a pizza song, literally about pizza. But what I did, I went online and I said, "Hey, what do you guys want me to make a song about? Money, women, cars, fame,
Pizza.
or pizza?" And of course, everybody voted pizza. So it started off as a challenge. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I made this song. I did a whole video to it. I did this whole push. And long story short, I was at Mr. East about to perform a song called Pizza. And I'm a grown man,
And I'm a grown
35 years old at the time, in a club filled with grown men and grown women. And like, when the guy told me, "You're going on in 60 seconds," that hit me in the head. And I was like,
It didn't hit
What
you
am I
until
doing
you're
right now?
like, how?
yeah, I'm like, what am I, what? I'm about to go on stage with a group of adults, rap about pizza, and check this out. Most of them might not even know you.
Right.
That's a whole different thing. You might have a fire song, and performing a fire song when people don't know you is still difficult. I'm about to
very
go up there in front of adults and rap
Yeah.
about
pizza.
pizza.
It's crazy. Can you cue the song while he's talking about it?
Oh, Jesus.
No, it's because I think it's a fire ass song. Like somebody could have made a song about pizza, but the beat and everything go hard, right? So
I realized
over there.
this.
But you're on Bluetooth. You're good.
And like most situations, when I get nervous about something, I get overly aggressive. So I'm like, yo, I'm just going to go up there and it's going to be the biggest hit of all time, whether it is or not. That's how because you got to sell it now.
You have to.
You're there. You got to sell it.
Mind you, you had like a bunch of dudes center stage in the front, like
right. So
this guy.
This is a tip for all artists. And man, if you listen to me, this will change your performance life. I cheat for every performance. So I'm trained. I know what to do. I feel like I kill every party I go to. I got video footage even of this to show you. But I cheat. I find something that I can make the lightning rod that isn't me. I'm not famous.
Okay.
As a result, I need bait to bait the audience in.
Okay.
What did I do? I came to the club with, I don't know, 50 pies of pizza.
I remember seeing photos of that.
Okay. So now my thing is, remember I said I walked into a bunch of adults and I was adults.
And it's about like what, $13 a pie? So
I had a hookup.
Okay, you got a hookup.
Because of the song.
You trying to get this. Well, the pizza guy trying to get it.
Smart.
So now what I did was I said to myself, I'm an adult. The audience are adults. And I'm rapping about pizza. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform the audience into kids.
Like that.
You feel me? How do you do that?
Yeah.
You go to a club where all the guys are macho looking for girls. All the girls are trying to look super pretty. I went in the club and I had people dressed in pizza outfits.
Listen to this.
But while the intro was going on, I had a guy come out with pizza stacked to the ceiling. I had pizza serving everywhere. So everyone's confused. Like the beat starts, they want to kind of hate on you, but everybody loves pizza. Mm-hmm. So music's playing.
You can't hate on pizza.
Yo, what do you do in a club where you know you're hungry? You've been hiding it. You're in the club for hours. You know you're starving, but you're drinking alcohol, and a pie of pizza passes you.
Like, you're going to eat it.
You're going to take a slice of pizza. So the whole club starts grabbing pizza. Now, all of a sudden, that song sounds different. You're not standing there with your drink like, why is this dude rapping? Now you're like, dude, I just had myself a piece of pizza. So there's two black dudes come to the stage, right? And
the wrong one, that's why.
And they look at me like this when the song starts, and they go like this with the nastiest face. Like cut it out. This is terrible. You know what I'm saying? So then I'm like, I go even harder.
Because you know that's killing you inside.
Right. So now I'm going even harder, and I start giving out the pizza to the girls, and I wish there was like a button, and maybe we could cut it in the edit, but I wish there was a button where I could push this moment. I'm standing in only like a 2-foot stage. The whole crowd is reaching out to me. I have pies of pizza in my hand. I'm rapping the song, and I'm like, it was another moment in my life that was like a picture, like a flash. And I actually want to get all those moments and put them up. Like those moments in life where you did
like
this.
Yeah.
Like you hit the game winner in your life, because that's what life's about, right? There's ups and downs, but it's those moments where you're like, success.
We did this.
I have a whole club, I don't know, it was 800, 900 people of adults. Every eye focused on me because I was in the center.
Yeah, because your intellectual, like almost thought process, even though you're not, maybe it's like a subconscious thing, that wave of like, I'm going to bring pizza, I'm going to kill it, I'm going to make them feel like kids. All this little ego and I dress pretty, it's like smash.
Yeah. You're just having fun at the end of the day.
Yo, but it blew me away because I wasn't prepared for that. So I thought about these things and turning them to kids and everything, but like, I'm just creating. But that picture I have of everyone like this, and their faces, grown men like this.
I remember that picture.
Like, and I'm like, I'm really emotionally delayed.
Okay.
So like 2 weeks later when I looked at it, I'm like, yo.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I pull that off. Like, what?
But that's the thing. Like, I don't get it. Like, there's records that are, okay, on the radio, right? Like, if we take a second, run it back, right? So imagine, this guy's coming to the club, right?
We should have pizza right now.
Exactly. I wish we had pizza. So we got like
piece of pizza.
We got like a Jersey head, that's repping.
Connected to the Wi-Fi.
Pizza.
And that's a Jersey thing, right? Pizza's a Jersey thing.
Pizza is like, you can't.
New York, Jersey.
So imagine you hear like this bass come in. This guy's got
This
pizza
beat goes
ready for
hard,
you.
too.
Yeah. This guy's got pizza waiting for you. Like, how you gonna hate on that?
Video's fun too.
I just had myself a piece of pizza.
This should be like the pizza deliverer's like anthem. When they
Right?
You know, like the ice cream man has an anthem?
Yeah.
Ooh. We need to start a pizza truck. Remember coming out of the bar like,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm finna hit it, come
Oh, it's what's her name? The girl in the video.
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm gonna let you guys stumble so she gets mad when she hears this.
Oh, she's definitely that's Shy.
Ooh, you don't remember?
That's Shy. That's Shy.
There we go.
Why? Because like everybody call it different. Like ANAT call it different. Everybody. So I was like, that's Shy.
Mm-hmm. So I remember when you told us the whole pizza idea.
I did.
Yeah. You remember when we were at that video shoot?
We were at the Fat Joe
video shoot. Yeah.
I told you about that.
Yeah. Of course he did.
That was a real thing.
Delayed Emotions part 2.
Would it be you if you did not?
Let's name my album. Delayed Emotions.
So you were telling us the whole idea, and we're thinking about it. It was like, that sounds like a Chris idea. And we're like, I know he's going to pull it off somehow. And then just seeing everything going from you telling us that initial idea and then seeing that picture you mentioned, just everything came full circle. And I was like, this guy really pulled off this pizza song.
And it's crazy because I always feel in the process of everything, I'm not like Rich. Like Rich is, I'm sorry, I know he has his alias. And I'm like,
no.
Who's that? He's real methodical with what A, E, C. Like, I don't know. I'm like, A, B, C, D, we'll figure out the rest when we get there.
A, B, C, D, we'll figure out the rest.
You know what I'm saying? But that's why I always get so surprised when it works out. That's why one thing I always tell everybody is like, I'm a big overthinker. And all my success comes from the moments when I don't think at all. I'm like, I'm gonna die one day.
But let's run.
Cares?
Then let's run it back to your first big hit that really put you on the map, like Jersey Wise, where like I was a fan of this too. Like I was in France at the time, and I remember when you dropped Water Dance, I was like, who produced the beat? Why the fuck? Like, did somebody write you this song? And I was just like, yo, this is like the best thing I heard come out of Jersey in a long time. And I mean,
interesting. That's really
like, you know what I'm saying?
Because it still had a Jersey vibe to it. It was hype.
Really?
Because I love, like, you know what I loved? I was like, dun, 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 and then it went, and I was like, that's that NERD shit.
Yeah,
I was like, so like,
super
it's funny because I don't even think of it like that. Like
I know, but
like
I'm saying from a producer standpoint, an artist standpoint, like when we first started out as Benatton, remember when we made songs like Get It Girl? Like it was just like this whole
fun.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, like, again, I let Ange listen to the song the other day. She's like, yo, this is Chris. This is fucking fire. And she was just like vibing with it. And she honed in on the lyrics. And I think that kind of like Jay has this gift too. Like, you know how you said I think about A, B, and C? Sometimes the complexity in my thought process needs to be simplified. And I think you guys both have that gift where you can take complexity and simplify it for the masses. So I think like, you know, that's what I appreciate in what you guys do. You don't overthink it. I'm here, sure, I'll get technical all day, but you guys can simplify it. So like, I don't know if that you know that you're doing that's part of your process, but like lyrics are good enough. Like it just, again, you could absorb it, and that's why I think.
Well, I do whatever the beat tells me to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the Water Dance story of making that song was...
You made the beat?
No, I did not.
Okay.
But every beat that I get, I produce.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
I like
There's
that.
a lot of people that get beats, or they'll get the same beat as me and be like, yo, mine wasn't like that. I'm like, oh, because
They'll take
that
lyrics they
sound that was-
already had
right.
or something and try to
Well,
throw
like
it on.
that sound that was at the end. This is, if you hear the beat for the Water Dance, you'll realize like how different. Even you remind me, like I'll take a sound from the end and make it the main hook sound, and like, and that's the difference with you know, producing a song and putting it together. But when I heard this beat, there's water in the beat. You kind of can't hear it when everyone's rapping and everything, but there's water in
you
the
hear that
beat.
bloop.
So the first thing I said was, do the water dance, girl. Literally, the first word I ever said to the water dance was, do the water dance, girl, do the water dance. And I was like, oh, that's the hook.
That's the hook.
Make sense of it later.
Yeah.
That's fire.
and you know, it went from there. And the funny part is I didn't love it. So it would have never left my basement.
Somebody pushed you to say, hey,
Yeah, my boy Easy, who's worked with Beyonce, he was there with Crazy in Love and the whole thing. He's in the industry. He heard it. He was like, congratulations, you got your first hit. And I'm like, really? I think it's just whatever. Like I said whatever.
That's serious, though.
It was super dumbed down. I just had fun. Like going on to the next song. He's like, no. He's like, I'm telling you, this is.
That's
the
where
one.
his professionalism said, fuck
Yeah.
it. Like, this is going.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, once you get into the music business, you're gonna realize that like it doesn't matter if you don't have money, you don't have a hit.
Yeah.
But what
Speak on that more too,
I was
because
about
like
to say, elaborate on that.
like that's the thing I always feel like podcasts, radio stations, stories on fucking VH1 are missing. Like, I want to know the nitty gritty. Like, how much did you put up? Who the fuck did you have to talk to? Whose dick were you sucking? Not that you were sucking dick, but I'm saying
this may not come out till next year, but I'm working on it. I'm gonna do a little film about it, book, but it's called How I Failed at Hip Hop. I know it sounds painful. Just
It can
work,
be, though.
Just work with me. It's gonna be amazing because that's what you don't know. Because people who don't make it, right, usually lose so early in the game, they can't really tell you anything.
Right.
They never really get off the ground. And the people that make it, they don't really tell you anything at all.
No,
They
no.
can't.
You know what it is?
All they say is consistency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
consistency.
You know what
I
it
kept
is?
going. I never
Quality.
gave up.
It's the consistency you got, so you got the fucking major label deal. Because the major label deal is gonna put you at the Grammys. It's gonna have you fucking performing at
Well, it's you gotta
NFL.
understand everything's not equal either.
No.
There's plenty of signed artists that don't have a song as big as Water Dance was.
No.
So like it's really confusing.
And then you got the remix with Pitbull,
yeah,
which is huge.
which became the original Water Dance all over again.
Like-
so the original Water Dance was 9 months. I promoted only one song for 9 months. And
Without
I said,
giving your book away, can you like delve into the process of really what it took for you to get it to where it was at?
okay, oof.
Whatever you could give away.
Okay, no. So let's start from the original Water Dance in that 9 months because it's extremely important what happened there. Social media, it started there. You got to start with your circle, with the people you're around.
Mm-hmm.
I put out the song, terrible artwork. I had nothing to do with that. I actually got, yes, and I'm actually wrong. I got to bring you back because that's the artwork for the remix, right?
That's the
So
original.
no, that's just another terrible thing that was made by the label, not me. Anything terrible I had nothing to do with unless it's reception.
I like that. See, he didn't think about it, but he plugged it.
Right. So I basically started with my friends, and then Paul Porter, who's a cousin of mine, who's been in the music industry on the radio side most of his life. He started to show his super friends. What I mean by super friends, he's an old head. He's in the 60s. So everybody we know from Wendy Williams, everybody in the entertainment world who's older, grew up in his. It's like us growing up. And now we have the hookup because now he became
all his good
this
friends
guy.
are famous.
You became this. You know what I'm saying? So it started going through that market, and they all started loving it and loving it and loving it. And we got lucky enough to get it played as a. I guess a new at 2 type of thing on Sirius XM. Here's another gem. Sirius XM is where your music should be played first. Because people who have Sirius in their car pay for that service.
Yeah.
They pay good money for that service.
So
People
they got
who
money.
pay for extra music that's not coming for free doing their regular traditional radio are way more into music. They way more likely to be open to discover new music.
Okay.
They don't want to hear the same thing over and over again. That's why they pay
For XM.
whatever money monthly for the thing, right?
That makes sense.
So when a radio station on XM that you listen to and you already love says, hey, you guys, we want to know if you like this song. Text us if you love this. Text us if you hate this. It's Chris Porter, The Water Dance. So they're open to it. They're not like if you play on the Hot 97, they're like, bro, where's Drake? Play
Where's
Drake again.
Drake?
Play Drake again.
It's that time in the hour.
What was it on? Like, how did it debut on Sirius XM? Was it a pop? Was it hip hop?
It was on, I know they changed the number to it.
Was it like a Z100?
Right now, I think it's 46. Regardless of where it is, it's The Heat.
Okay.
The Heat.
I know that one.
Dion is the program director of The Heat.
Okay.
He gave it a shot. This is with no Pitbull. This is just me on the Water Dance.
Yeah.
He gave it a shot. He didn't play himself. He had a DJ named Chris Styles who
Why does that sound familiar?
who ran
Chris Styles.
that show, right? He played the song. I was super excited 3 weeks later because I'm emotionally delayed. And
He woke up like, yo, I got a hit on the radio.
you had a hit 3 weeks ago. It was crazy.
Dreams.
Was it crazy? You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
So he played it. People responded in a positive way to it. And it
Can
was
you
cool.
match that high in any way? Like, you know how you perform?
I
Like,
did many times.
Okay.
That's why I'm in depression now because the highs I hit were so high. Like
It's hard to get back up.
yeah,
there.
it's like. So anyway, the song played. It did well, and we got a call. Said, "Hey, we're gonna play it again tomorrow." It's in rotation. No, it's gonna play it once, but it got a really exceptional. Like people really liked it. Long story short, it was like 3 weeks later. He's like, "Yo, we're gonna put it in a soft rotation and see what it does." For people that don't know, soft rotation is what, like 3 times a day. It's small in spots that aren't really popular. It's not the morning
3 o'clock
or
in the morning,
right, or the
time.
you know what I'm saying. So that happened, and all of a sudden, like, yo, the program director texts us. He's like, "Yo, we're about to get in the water."
You think some
Like,
people?
what does that mean? Full rotation, the water dance. Mind you, no money, no label,
So did you guys
no
approach
management
the
team.
program director with that directly?
Yes, Paul knew the program director because of this. Is what I'm telling you. You know what's better than networking relationships?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like I'm not saying this in a negative context?
Yes, the answer is yes.
No. But like, do you feel like
Do you like hard-boiled eggs?
like do you think it's at a disadvantage for the people that don't have quote unquote family connects or somebody that's been in the industry? Like, how do you, like, in a sense, like some kid that's got to go to Sirius XM and like with his homies be like, yo, how do we get on the radio?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you something. If I was tall, I might be in the NBA. That's
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I was lucky enough to have.
But I'm saying Paul put in the work back in the day. You put in the work, so it's not like easy
no,
peasy.
but it's still And let me just throw something at you, and that's why this story starts earlier. Water Dance is 2015. Paul is a family member of mine, but I want you to realize I didn't know him until 2010. I didn't know he even existed.
Oh man.
So he was still a new person that I had to build a relationship with.
Wow. Yeah.
And we black.
Exactly.
So it's just because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a different type of vibe. Like,
You still got to work.
And he reached out to me because of my music in the first place. So he was a stranger.
Yeah, because years before that too.
You know what I'm saying?
Years before that, we mentioned Rock on the podcast a couple times. People may be familiar with his name, but like again, you got on BET before then and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when you introduced it, like, yo,
No.
your first hit,
Yeah,
and it was right.
Yeah.
But it was her first hit because money was involved once
Gotcha.
Pitbull and them came in. That's why I always tell people, like, get the bag first.
Bag. Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Well, you were getting your royalties off of the joint being played because of ASCAP BMI, right?
Yeah, but I was also signed to an indie at the time.
Or you signed to an indie. And then once Pitbull said, this is the next shit, I'm going to jump on it before anybody else, he said, let's put some backing behind it.
No.
Okay.
So let me tell them, man, let me just show you. Oh, I could tell this story 100 times because I want to help people.
Yeah.
The song that's playing right now is actually Hold It Down. That's the one.
Well, that's why we created this platform too, because we're like, we got to have
Right.
everybody from Jersey give everybody insight.
The whole thing is a game. Your life is chess.
Yeah.
You know, and most of us wake up in the morning and we start playing checkers right away because it's comfortable. You're hungry, you eat.
Yes.
Your stomach's bubbling, you go to the bathroom. And you just go with the flow. And if you do that, you don't usually win.
Right.
It's
Unless
harder
that's
to-
winning to you. Everyone has their own thing.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is a chess game. And in my book and my the short film we're gonna create, you don't know yet. How I failed at hip hop is exactly about what I'm talking about, because you see how it felt to you. Even though we talk all the time, you still felt like, oh, Pitbull came in and he would. I've never met Pitbull.
And people need to know that.
Right.
You feel me? So once again, relationships. Somebody I connected with, the indie label I signed with, the owner of that label, and I could say his name, White Shadow, who produced.
That is a cool name.
That sounds fucking.
DJ White Shadow. He produced many, if not a whole album for Lady Gaga.
Mysterious.
He has a relationship and what I believe, I'm not too sure, but a business relationship with someone who owned DJ City, which is a record pool, which most up-and-coming artists don't know anything about. And it's probably the most important step.
Which was also, if I'm not wrong, correlated with Latin Prince.
Yes. Yo, and I don't do shout outs, but that's one person I would definitely always shout out in my story.
Because we met that day on that set.
Yes,
We
Latin
did.
Prince. Yes,
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yo, because there's lots of characters, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but you're gonna meet lots of characters, and no matter what you do, whether
Do you
it's
consider
film-
these guys the gatekeepers? Quote unquote, not like know,
no,
but like they're the
he's
ones
not,
that
no,
say
he's not a gatekeeper, but they influence gatekeepers. So sometimes they're actually more important. Usually, gatekeepers are people who are in a position of power who are not on the ground knowing what's cool, trendy in next.
And they're catching them in between me.
They don't know. They swear they know.
They get told what's hot and trendy.
Right,
by these people.
and they don't get told on purpose. If you tell them, they don't believe it.
I
It's
know
like
exactly
almost
what you mean, too.
like if I come by, yo, you heard that song, The Water Dance? It's fire. They dropped it at Sweet 16. Everybody was going crazy. You'll influence them. If you say, yo, I got this record, they're like, let's hear it. 5 seconds later, like, no, cut it off.
Unimpressed.
Right. So the most important people are the people who influence the people at the
gatekeepers.
gates.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And then that's still 2015 talk.
That's a gem in itself.
That's not 2021 talk.
because because the gate. Well, the locks to the
different
keys
story now.
change.
Right. Who's the gatekeeper now?
I feel it's like yourself, like in a
Well,
poetic form.
Yes, you're the first. You're the key.
Yeah.
The people.
Because it's easy. Like again, like everybody could buy this
people
roadcaster
are
and buy
the
this
gatekeepers.
microphone and all this other shit.
The only reason the people, it sounds beautiful, but the only reason people aren't the gatekeepers because as people, and I'm going to include myself in
They
this,
have to be. They have to feel secure. Like it's for us. It's like our friends aren't gonna like put us on,
okay.
even though it might be hot. It's like they're not sure until somebody else says like Oprah's like, "Yo, this is the best new song ever." Like,
Right. They have to
gotta-
be. It's the reason why there's ads and stuff. They have to sell you and sell. Even us. Usually, you don't buy something or dig deeper into that product until you see it 8 to 10 times.
You know how many times we gotta like convince each other in this like trifecta right here that it's hot because you have delayed emotion.
Right.
You're like, all right, it's all right, and
I'm
then
always
me, I'm
mad busy.
overthinking it. It's like and we have all those. We're gonna keep looking to each other like it was just dope.
Right.
But that's why I always tell people it's like it's more important to hear that from somebody else outside of the artist themselves because the artist themselves is pitching themselves to you, right? But if you have 20 other people telling you that this artist is hot, you're more likely to listen, right?
Yes.
And these are the people you're talking about.
Right. I think artists should pitch themselves. Oh man, there's so much. Like in order to talk about this the right way, like I
We'll
need
be here all day.
Yeah, I need
Yeah.
I need a list so I don't go crazy all
Right.
over the place.
I get it.
But like if I could do things over, and I'm continuing to do things in a different way, which is actually more impactful for the world. But we'll get there later. Don't try to please everybody. Now I'm gonna dig into that because everybody says that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What I truly mean is, one is don't try to please everybody, right? Stay to your niche,
Your niche,
and do you. Don't try to be everybody because I did that a lot, right? But what I'm truly talking about is,
I think you always stage yourself. You're like really hype music, like
yeah, but as a personality,
Gotcha.
not brand wise.
Understood.
You don't know what my brand color is. You don't know when you think of Chris Porter. You think of fun, but you're still thinking about my personality and not my discography. Like, if you think gangster, you'd be like, you want to listen to gangster music while we work out? 50 Cent. You don't have to think. You know exactly what you're getting.
That's a great point.
But since I'm such a creator, I never thought of myself as a brand. I'm just like, yo, I'm making a skateboard song today. What we gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
I think we've had that same.
We put our eggs
gift
in
and
too
a
many,
curse.
we put our
It's
eggs
a
in too
big-
many baskets.
Yeah,
It's actually for yourself and what you're doing for you. If you're the product, it's a crazy curse.
Yeah, it's a
When you're
definite
creating for other people, you're a weapon of mass destruction.
Absolutely.
Because I can make you a commercial, I can make you a song, I can have so many ideas, but you can't be the ice cream with the 72 different candies on top of it. You know what I'm saying?
Because then you lose the main flavor.
See that guy? You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
side story. I used to work at a pizzeria, right?
Pizza.
And there was one pizza, full circle. So there was this one particular client that would order maybe once a month.
Okay.
And they would order 3 pies with about 20 toppings on each one. And we all thought it was disgusting.
A garbage pie.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. It's a bunch of trash on top of a pie. and that's what
My
I feel
dad's friend
we do
Lou loved
sometimes.
those. Yeah, he
But
was
it's
like
like
garbage.
a pizza is beautiful, music is beautiful, or creating stuff is beautiful. But if you're doing too much, then it gets
Confusing.
confusing. Right?
You don't get to enjoy the pepperoni because there's
Yeah.
sausage, anchovies, and peppers on top of
right.
it.
Well, you're on the fucking sausage right now. No home. No, I'm just saying this is
Here
like
we
the
go with our
Which one
podcast.
is it?
First time using, the board.
That's a guess. That was a good guess. That was a good guess. I'm gonna go green.
Yeah, that was perfect. But it's like that. We have the platform for the podcast.
Right.
We're doing the Oneiphotography shit. We got Benatton.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything else, it's like Jay's cutting hair soon, you know? Like,
I don't have a passion for it.
ever since he
I
got
don't
the
have the
nose
patience.
ring, now he's going to be cutting hair. He's going to be like, yo, you want to fade? And
I
I'll
don't
be
have
like,
the patience.
I guess he's good at it, you
I
know?
don't have the patience. I would never cut your hair.
Yeah, you know what's funny?
Anybody's hair.
As much as I love all that. When I talk to other people, I fix their problems that I also have without fixing mine. There's only a certain amount of hours in a day.
Right.
I don't know you well enough, so I don't mean any because we don't hang out physically
Right.
enough. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I want to go into interview mode. 'Cause I want to get to know you more.
So I been around him enough to understand what he is, right? And he has genius in him. He has genius in him,
I
right?
appreciate that. That's weird to hear.
With that said, no, but it's facts. It's facts. That's why I get mad at you, and that's why if the better you are, the more I like throw rocks at you because I need you to use your genius to win because I can't.
That's why when I go on gigs with him, it hurts more the next day because I'm like, throw rocks at me.
rocks.
I'm like, what's that?
Yeah, no, he has crazy genius in him, and he has true talent and superpower. We all have superpower. One of my superpowers is realizing other people's superpowers. You know what I'm saying? One of my weaknesses is I'm not a good leader, which is terrible. I hate that even coming out of my mouth. But self-awareness,
honest.
self-awareness is the most important thing in your entire life.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to become a better leader because I'm really good with bringing people in, pumping them up with my ideas, getting them so excited, and then they're willing to blow somebody's head off for me. And I'm like, yeah, now you got the gun. You know, just have some lemonade real quick. And no one's you know what I'm saying? Because
we want to do things that are like perceived as cool, right? Like for me, it's like I know I'm a fucking artist at the end of the day, but my problem is like, yeah, I want to be the businessman too, because if you're not good at business, you don't have money and all this. And it's like I guess that's the wrong perception. So it's like I'll start out with the client, like we were talking earlier, I'll be like, it's 5 G's for a music video, that's it. And they're like, I don't have that. I'm like, all right, fine, 5.
500.
$5.
$5. Yeah, I'm like, I suck at that.
$5 videos, any.
That comes with practice, though, I feel. Because I was the same way. Because I was like, I want to get the job done. I want to get this gig. I want to build up my portfolio. But I also want to hold my value, too.
Yeah.
So it's like I start at a certain price and start going down a little bit. And what I started doing is, well, I don't want to give up that sauce. But essentially, what you want to do is hold that ground and show your value.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I've learned that from you. Because you say, this is what we do. If you want it, you want it. If you don't, then go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know? Go to the guy with the iPhone down the street.
No, but yeah.
And it's hard to do that because you want the gig, right?
Yeah.
Right. You don't.
Because we always talk about popularity and getting the gigs versus quality and you're a blip on the radar.
Right, but then I'm the marketing guy, right? We'll get there later. People don't know that I'm the rapper so far in this conversation, right? But truth is, like,
Yeah, that's why we want to peel these layers.
right?
You know
Like
what I'm saying?
my boy Gabe, and he's also my engineer, my sound engineer for the music. He always said that, yeah, you go crazy when you're making the songs, and it looks like you don't love recording. You have fun because you're a fun guy. That's what you do. But when this song is done and we're sitting around and I'm talking about all the things I'm going to do to promote it, that's when you go crazy and
You
you
can
light
see your
up.
aura and shit.
Fuck with the pizza thing. I'm like, oh, and then we're going to have the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I realized like, whoa, wait, you big dummy. Here's another major gem, jewel, whatever you want to call it for everybody. If you're good at something, and you're doing it for you, use that talent while you're doing you to do it for other people so you can get paid in the meantime.
Oneiphotography.
Right.
We said yo,
Cut
how
the
much
middleman
did you
out.
charge us for this dumbass photo shoot?
Mm-hmm.
That shit didn't even surpass my expectation or
Right.
match it. So it's like that's why we got into
Right, but you also have photography in your family, in your background.
It's
and
my dad, but
You have an eye for it, and that's
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Same thing with Paul though.
But
I've been around my dad like his whole career. I've been in studios while he's working on projects, while he's developing film.
Yeah, but it's in your blood, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
So
you
what's
walk around
my
with,
story?
But I didn't.
you walk around with like Pharaoh
but look
God
at your
shirts
dad.
with a
Me.
tail
Your
on it.
dad and your mom suppressed something. I feel for a long time,
Oh,
and now it's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Because now your dad's like about to be the next, the next worldwide Dominican DJ because that's what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like your first generation to say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna put my foot down. This is what I do, and I'm doing everything y'all wanted to do for I don't know how many years." So that's the way I see it. But you still suppress it to a certain extent because of safety nets. You still got the fear. I feel like if we want to be
I'm
transparent,
getting out of this one.
I feel like
Look what you did.
as he came here. He came here.
He's like a little minion. Like
No, but I'm saying, and I still feel like for you, there's like you have the battle between safety net life and full blown fucking artist. Because you're still on that verge of like finding your confidence as an artist, and I'm not saying that.
What do you mean? Yeah, what do you mean by artist?
He's
Are you
still
talking about recording music right now?
everything. Like he's an artist. Like he's an artist that like I saw it in him since day one. Like he's a lot more outspoken than he was day one. Like Jay was always quiet, right? He'd be listening and paying attention more, which is great. But now he like speaks up for himself a lot more than he used to. But it took a journey to get there. So I feel like you're still on your journey to really be like, I do this well. You're gonna know I fucking do this versus then like falling back on like, all right, I'd rather do this just because it's easier, it's safer. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like you're on that crossroad where it's like, I'm gonna be the best at what I fucking do, and this is what I'm going to do with no plan B versus I'll do this because it works for everybody else, pleasing people.
We gotta talk about that plan B. Because what you just said,
That's just again, that's my
what
opinion.
what you just said, I always preach, and I think I'm wrong.
About what? The plan B part?
I say if you have a plan B, your plan A is probably gonna fail because you ain't gonna push to the extra extreme limits. I think it should be your plan B should be B for bank. The money that pushes plan A and allows you to, because at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Yeah. But you know what? I feel a lot of people out here are like falsifying their plan B
what is that?
because they're falsifying their plan B, but still nothing's getting fucking impregnated. Nothing's coming to life. Nothing's getting birthed. So for me, it's like you see a lot of people like, yeah, I'm putting money in stocks. You're not doing it right. You're still learning it. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's like they don't know how to really do it. Like we're still in the age of highlight reels and trying to fake everybody out that you got your shit together.
No, but that's because they're treating their plan B like the plan. They have a bunch of plan A's. There's a difference.
Okay.
Right? Like you just said, watch, I can flip it around. You just said, yo, we got the photography and we got the video and we got the podcast.
No, but I wasn't saying that like in like I feel that they're all successful. I don't. People are like coming off like everything they do is like they know it like the back of like they mastered everything. Like if I go on Instagram right now, everybody's an investor and knows how to flip stocks. Everybody's like a makeup artist that's like pro gear.
But that's Instagram for you. Instagram
Exactly.
always shows you the tippy top. They don't show you the struggles.
No, what I love is like
until my book comes out.
Yeah. No, but what I love, right? And I discuss this with my boy Sean all the time. It's not really it's not really YouTube or Instagram. It's the dudes that you might catch on Vimeo that drop like one video in the past 5 years. And then you look them up. Like there's one dude from Jersey. He's working with RE cameras like in the film like industry. He's not Instagram famous.
Yeah,
he's
but,
getting the bag. He's getting the real bag. He's doing what we're talking about, like making jingles for kids and fucking like McDonald's commercials.
You're right.
It's not the dude on Instagram that's like, yeah, I'm here with such and such today, and like it was a great pickup.
But how did that guy get to where he's at? That's the sauce.
I feel like I feel like people like if they're really good at what they do and they work on the niche part, Like if Chris
That's
works focuses strictly on marketing, he forgot about the artistry or
Everybody's
anything
dead.
else he did. I feel like boom, you can move in silence because it's like you don't have to prove anything to Instagram. People are so caught up
Okay,
with
so
proving
this
things on
is where
Instagram.
I got to jump in because Instagram and anything else social is an amazing tool.
It's an amazing tool.
Everything up until now in the conversation
Yeah.
was birthed because I did
Yeah.
all those things.
No,
you're
for
talking-
sure. But how many red cameras can I put in somebody's hand they actually know how to use it? And that's the same thing goes for Instagram. There are people that use the tool to their advantage and know how to use it beautifully. There's other ones that say, hey, look, I have it.
See, that's my argument for you. You're right, but you know what's funny? It made me realize this too. You don't do that on Instagram. When you post a red, you post red like a nerd, a video nerd.
Okay.
You don't post it as a fashion accessory.
No. And that's what I like, but that's why I like, again, you encouraged me to open the YouTube channel. I started doing niche little lens tests, and there's a crowd for that. I can't do that on Instagram, and people be like, yeah, that's fucking dope.
No,
But you can, though.
no. Peter McKinnon doesn't do that on his Instagram.
No.
What does he do? He
it
does the
on
same
YouTube.
thing you're talking about all the other people do. You just don't feel that way about him because he's a master at his other side.
Yeah. I think he's just, I mean, I love Peter McKinnon in the sense that he's out loud, but he also moves in silence where you think he's just doing YouTube and this, that, and the third. And like, but at the same time, he's coming out with Polar Pro filters. Like, think about the marketing, the heavy like quality you get from that, about how many cinematographers that want to make it, want to buy that. And then he did the Hyundai commercial for Santa Claus recently, and it aired all
That was
over
awesome.
the U.S.
It's like a young Santa with muscles.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fucking dope. Like
But
that.
what does that have to do? He's everything you don't like.
Yeah.
He still did for 100 years before he came to
No, but
that
I'm saying
point.
he at least found his niche on YouTube. Like that, I respect.
You
Like
don't think doing a bunch of things?
I think
helps
he
you?
adds photos on Instagram, if anything.
Mostly amazing photos.
Exactly. So like that definitely that was the hook to the reel. That's the way I see it. Your Instagram should be the hook to the reel of where you're really at. Like in the sense like what you're doing best. Like if he's the best,
I just think it should be the hook to what you're selling.
that's what I'm
Okay.
I'm saying. We're on the same page.
Right, but people promote different things to different crowds, right? So if jumping up and down on a couch with a red is motivating for people who want rap videos, they want that director that is their vibe, then you know what I'm saying?
True.
So that's what I'm saying. I heard someone on one of the YouTubers said something that like always attached to me. They said nothing's oversaturated because your vibe creates your tribe.
I 100% agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
100% agree
So
with
like I do
like I said, there's so many fingerprints in the world, but you're the only one, and that's like what we base. Like Oneiphotography, like you're one fucking style.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I agree. Yeah, of course. There's people on social media over, but who doesn't do that? You know, my clients, some of the clients that I worked with in the past, they're all multi-millionaires, if not billionaires. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the MC stuff, like I think people fail to understand, like Instagram. There's a lot of different Instagrams, right? Like a newspaper is Instagram. Getting yourself on Yahoo News is Instagram. It's all the same thing. They just do it at different levels, so it doesn't feel like that. And PR, because that's what it is. Instagram's your own little PR, right? So PR is, I forget who said it. I don't know. It wasn't Trump. It was one of the big, somebody super successful money-wise. And he said, yo, if you took everything away from me and I had to do over again, I would save up the money and put everything on PR because it's the perception. So I know you don't like it because people go in circles and you've seen them and you know them and you know what they really have. When it comes to PR, like, how, not to use fake news, but how fake some of the stories we see are, like you could move herds of people if done correctly.
I think that's the hardest thing to come across is a good PR. I don't know if you've had the same trouble. But
in music?
Yeah.
It's probably the hardest thing in music.
And that's the number one thing it needs.
We've bumped into so many.
That's the hardest thing.
Oh my God.
Because it's so broad and weird. You don't know
Right.
what a good result is.
You don't even know what PR really does at the end of the day.
Some people don't know what PR stands for.
Puerto Rican.
You'd be like the guy screaming at the beginning of Reasonable Doubt. You want him? He's like, you're listening to the but that's PR.
I was my best PR by finding
Public
ways,
relations. That's what it stands for.
right? By
For
using
those that don't know.
by pinpointing people who could be your PR that aren't PRs. Right. So, for instance, we didn't to flash back to your question all the way back to the water dance. How did that happen? Right. So there was a budget. There was a budget for once I got signed by the label because of the water dance. Just to let you know, before I got signed to an indie label, and I'm gonna explain what that is because people think
Are you allowed to say who the indie label was?
I did. That was White Shadow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So before all that, I had water dance being played NFL.
I saw it at a basketball game too, right?
Muhammad Sanu caught a touchdown and did the water dance in the end zone. Went to the locker room, put my music on behind it, and then posted on where? His Instagram.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? I had NBA cheerleaders, like you were saying. So I had this thing moving with nothing, just paying attention. I didn't know this was my superpower, right? Because it was marketing. Finding where things were hot and working and adding my song and asking in weird ways, whether it's through a crowd or a DJ I knew. And
I mean, you didn't have nothing. You had a great foundation.
Of
a
what?
lot of people don't have it. I mean, just the song. Like even if it was your friend that you said somebody in the industry that worked with Beyonce stuff, when he told you had a hit, like
it was created before, right.
It already had his destiny. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like what you're really good at is, and I tell this to everybody, you have the gift of gab. You know who to talk to.
You know how to talk.
You'll spot them in the crowd.
Yeah, that's the most important part. Because you can talk, you can network all day long,
Right.
But there's a million people.
You can spot them in the crowd and you ask them the right questions. Because you can you bump into Diplo in a party one day and you'll just like ask
the
him.
key
all the
is
wrong
not to
questions.
ask him anything.
There you go. There's the gem.
It's like ignoring them.
No, hold on, because you just brought out something
Right.
that I've never even heard in the conversation, actually. I've never heard that on any podcast anywhere, because that's super important. So usually when you see something or someone you want something from, you're like, oh my God, it's Diddy.
Right.
Yeah.
I shoot videos and I'm amazing. I know my videos are better than his director, but do I go by him and get a drink?
The thirst starts.
Everyone can't do this, and I'm not trying to pat myself on my own back. I'm just trying to explain what my mission is when I see somebody that I need to connect with. My thing is to be in their vicinity where they can hear me and see me and make everybody around them enjoy me and give them the least amount. It's almost like trying to get a girl back in the day in the club. Give them the least amount of attention. Like you were saying, get all the DJs and all the friends to influence that they gatekeeper.
Right.
That's the gatekeeper. He
The
does
people
not
around
want to
him.
talk to you. He doesn't want to see you. He doesn't want to meet you. He doesn't want to hear your stupid song. Don't email me your
'Cause he
stupid.
gets that shit all the time.
Yo, I'm a rapper. Yo, I'm good.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Right.
But if you're a lightning rod and you come into that middle,
Listen to
and,
this.
and-
listen
and-
to this.
right, and you come into that middle, and every situation is different depending on the location, right? So if I'm in a club, I might go up to I'm just being honest. We got to be honest here.
Let's
do it.
I'm gonna find the weakest link. The weakest link. So
In their
like,
circle.
like a lion. When a lion's hunting, that what they hunt those things? The gazelles.
The gazelles.
You
Yeah.
know,
They find the baby gazelle.
Yeah, the little motherfucker.
The
The
baby
motherfucker
gazelle.
who's 9 years old. He's limping like the lion's like, I ain't trying to catch this dude's running 100 miles an hour. I'm about to tear your ass up and bring you back to the
Because
family.
we still eating at the end of the day.
Right. So I'm gonna find the weakest person. So he might be there with his PR, who's Diddy's PR, who's the corniest guy in the world because he's.
But we know a couple of those.
Well, you never know.
Right. Right. But you're looking for a weak link. You're looking for the ugliest girl or guy.
The guy that just got the internship.
Yeah, I
Right.
hate to be like that, but you're looking for the weakest link, and then you grow from
that
that.
person.
You're not trying to get their number, but you grow from that because now when you're talking to them and you're making them laugh, the second in line weakest link, like, who's this? Blah, 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 blah. You do not say music. You do not say
Right.
rap. You do not mention anything that has to do with anything that your target is, and you just swallow the area. Now, mind you,
You don't even say it that night. You're just building this connect.
yes,
Right.
you're I'm an entertainer, so I'm like da 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 da. I'm an MC. My job is
You're a
to
magician.
Yeah,
make.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
But you're more a conductor.
Right. So right.
There's a big difference between an MC and a conductor. Because again, MC, all right, yeah, you got the crowd.
Well, a true MC conducts. That's why most MCs aren't good at their job. They're hype men, and they call themselves a master of ceremony.
But if we're gonna do this in a metaphorical sense, right? Say if you're a conductor, you're working people with instruments versus people that are here to watch you.
Yes,
there's a big difference.
Yes.
So like you're like you just said, you're in this room. Those people are instruments. They can get you instruments.
Right, and if you make them play the right tune, they can make the gatekeeper dance.
Versus just entertaining. Just versus entertaining some heads that are there to listen to some trap music that night. It's a big difference. And I think that if there's anything, you are a great MC through your career, but you're a conductor.
You know what's funny? Because we get into these different networking situations as photographer and videographers, and
you guys look like you would be terrible at it.
Oh, yeah. 100%. No, just like the networking joints.
The finding the target.
Oh, no. Actually, we're actually fairly decent at it.
Okay.
But what I was going to say is that we get put in these different situations, right? Where the normal person will get starstruck. And I feel like our starstruckness is within us.
Mine's retarded.
When we act natural, right? So when you act natural as a photographer and videographer, it naturally goes into a conversation like, oh, you do music? Why don't you tell me you do music? Something like that. You know what I mean? It was like, I thought you just did photography and videos.
Yeah, that works too.
Because I'm retarded with it. Like anybody that I'll be like, yo, that's DJ Envy. He's like, nah, man.
That's DJ Enough, my man. But yeah, I like that about us because it's essentially what you do, but it's important not to be starstruck because again, these people get approached by people all the time. Here, have my mixtape. Here, let me rap for you.
That's
Here,
funny.
I do this.
I don't get starstruck, and it's not for a positive reason.
Right.
Like I'm not saying like I'm so cool. I like have anger in me because I didn't get to my goal yet. So I always look at the person I need to get to as like the future competition. Like, bro, yo, Kanye's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, music creator ever.
100%.
Right? When I watch Kanye on stage, everyone's going crazy, but they're going crazy because he makes the most amazing music in that genre, right? They're not going crazy because he's the most amazing performer. And I'm watching him like, I can get on that stage right now with a song they never heard, and I will turn these people into my zombies. So I'm going to meet Kanye or who's ever in front of me. I'm here to help you, my friend. You got $100 million? I can make you 120 million if you put me on. Don't put me on because I want to be on. I'm gonna put some more money in your pocket because I'm gonna bring in you feel me? So I go with that mindset. Like, and and it's not cockiness. We're talking about how other people had that cockiness, but when you walk in with that confidence in yourself,
people envy that. But I know what you're talking about. It's that seed that people hate you from the jump, and they don't know why.
Oh yeah, I get. Oh yeah.
It's funny you should say that because do you remember when was the first time we met? It's funny. I have this, and I tell this to people because I have a shitty memory, but I have a really good photographic memory. So I have my long-term memory is a lot better, and I always remember these weird situations of how I meet certain people. And do you remember when was the first time we met?
No.
Okay.
I do know,
and nobody ever does.
That like I have glitches in my mind. I have a really good long-term memory for most things, but I have like.
It'll emotionally catch up to you.
Yes,
you'll see. Okay, so
in my next life,
I don't know if we ever
like, yo, I was a rapper last life.
We've never spoken about this, I don't think, but
get on my table and go, get the fuck up out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
We did a show at the Meadowlands years ago.
Rick's tour.
I'm talking about like
Rick's magazine.
Yeah. You remember the Meadowlands at the Meadowlands Fair?
Yeah.
You did the song "Hold It Down."
I did. I have the video,
and I remember this like it was yesterday.
Okay.
This fucking guy was throwing iPod shuffles into the fucking crowd. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
He was like, yo, I got an iPod shuffle once.
Yo.
Your song didn't even come on yet.
Yo, the whole time we're looking at you like,
I'm going to show you what.
Yo, we got to follow this song. We're going on after you.
You were behind me?
We were behind
you. Oh, you don't want to do that.
Yo.
That's the worst place you could be.
This guy was like, coming, he's like, hold it down. And he was like, oh my God, the song's not even playing. His arm's going to come off.
No, because what
arm is going to fly off
it's completely unfair too. It's if I'm trained. Like, you understand, when I do an event.
Who made you?
Yeah, no. When I do an event, we come back and sit down. Let's say the event's 5 hours long. We might spend like you do weddings, you have the hour, cocktail and everything. We'll spend 4 to 5 hours on the first hour watching the video. Okay, you're killing it. You're killing it. You're killing it. Oh, you see, everyone's going crazy and you look like a superstar, but you see these 15 girls on the left side, they're looking at each other.
Shown more attention to them.
They're not looking at you. Let's go back and find out the whole steps why they weren't locked in. Oh, you simply didn't give them any eye contact. Look at you.
Well, that's great. There's so many people are happy by the crowd bumping with them. But like,
They don't notice
we
those
look
little
back
people.
at our pictures from like opening up for Ja Rule, and then you have that one dude in the front just so
Always remember that guy because he's in the videos and the photos. That one guy in the center, in the front,
unamused,
sometimes
unentertained.
sometimes you know what's crazy? As a professional, you just there's too many conversations here.
Yeah,
Because this goes for
We'll have a part 2.
no, you have to listen to this too because this actually goes for your work too.
Okay.
What you just showed me on the computer with your clients. Do you know no matter how good you are, sometimes there's going to be a person in the wrong spot and they're going to be messing up the whole movie, the whole picture.
Right.
You have to move them out the way. I know it feels awkward.
in what sense?
Like,
what do you mean?
they have to get out the way. If they're not one of those people jumping up and down and there's only one of them and they're being, sometimes I've done that. I've been at places where all the kids are going crazy and there's 3 girls right there. It doesn't matter what's happening. They're not going to, they got to get out. I literally say, hey, you 3, do me a favor. Get out.
Okay.
I know it's rude,
Right.
but it's your movie.
Right.
And guess what? It's not even your movie. It's your client's movie.
Right. That makes sense.
You're just directing it for them.
Gotcha. So you're taking it. Yeah, you're taking it a step further. Not only you the MC, the conductor. Now you're the
You're the director,
the DP
of the movie,
in
right?
a sense.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
because
saying?
you understand, like that guy, it's harder, right? He's a grown man. He's going to fight. You're on stage. Like, I don't want to move him because it's awkward. It's not a kid that you can kick out. But you have to either make him move with you or move him out of the picture. However you can figure that out. You know
So
what I'm
you
saying?
can move those 3 girls maybe in front of him somehow. Is that what you mean?
Right. Or you could, you have to figure, and this is
Because
all,
he's more accessible than the 3.
right.
Yeah.
And here's the crazy part: people understand. Like, it's actually becoming harder for me because I have like outer body experiences when this is all happening. So when I'm performing, I hate to say this too because it sounds wrong.
Go for
When
it.
I'm performing, in that moment, most of it, usually close to the end, it's extremely exhilarating. The beginning and the end, I'm like high.
Yeah.
In the middle, I'm not even in my body
You're just coasting.
because my body, I've done so much training. Here's what people don't do either. Like, they go out there and just rap like they're their star already. Bro, I've done rehearsed a million times and sweat a million times. I know when I'm going to lose my breath. I know what I'm going to say when something goes wrong. I'm going to know what I'm saying when the power goes out. Like, I'm trained for every situation.
Well, that's what makes a Kobe. Rest in peace, Kobe. But that's what makes a Kobe because he was so dedicated. He's looking at the playbacks. He's not happy that he just scored like 78 points by himself.
I didn't get the 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how could we get the W?
Yeah, so you have to find ways to move that person. So I had the same thing. Check this out. Want to talk about being uncomfortable and liking putting yourself in uncomfortable places because I feel like once you do that enough times, nothing's going to be
Nothing feels
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I got asked to perform before Mano in Brooklyn. The Hold It Down Water Dance guy
That's got to be the worst situation.
got asked to open up for Mano
Gangsta rapper.
in Brooklyn. We're not at a car show or a festival.
You're in his town.
We're in the...
I know
okay?
that guy is unamused, and he has to be the.
Let me tell you something. I was backstage, and there was a bunch of upcoming guys who were going to go before. And let me tell you, like, they were rapping, and I couldn't see what the crowd was. It was so dark out there. And it was like crickets. Next performance. Crickets. Next performance. Crickets. And it kind of messed with me because unlike the car show, I couldn't assess the situation. Let me rewind you and give you jewels. I'm going to hop right back in the story. The car show, I was there earlier. I saw the demographic. I saw that there's these car show guys who love music because they all pump it in their car, but they don't go crazy for anybody. You could be great at what you do. They're not going crazy. Any females, I can handle the females. I need an incentive for them to even come to the stage.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Bavika, could you do me a big favor? Are you on your way here? Can you stop by Best Buy?
Grab a couple
Get me
iPod
the
shuffles.
give me the cheapest version of a shuffle or whatever, or something that looks like it. I don't care what it is.
That
Bring it
wasn't
here.
even a real shuffle. The gem has been dropped.
It was a buffle.
He had a SanDisk,
Yeah.
MP3 player.
Yeah, because now it's like, because once again,
He had a USB disc.
right, because I'm not famous, I'm not somebody that already know. My job is to turn, and I learned this from the party life, the events life, turn the adults into kids before you start. If they're still adults when they reach you, you're in for a rude awakening.
Right.
You failed.
Think about it. Adults suck.
Yeah.
We're
true.
adults. We're creators, so it's a little bit more fun most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But what do adults do?
Nothing.
They go to work,
Go home,
blah, blah, blah.
eat,
They
watch
tell you-
TV.
I've brought this up in the past 2 weeks. I'm so frustrated. I said, unless we're going to eat something or spending money, there is nothing else to fucking do as an adult.
Mhm.
Because vacations,
They-
that's money,
and
that's eating.
And they lean on the vacation as being the primary goal behind all the work because
You're just trying to get to the vacation your whole life.
Yeah.
because they're not getting the exhilaration from the drug of creating something or building something. So the vacation is the feeling for that. So like when I tell
Heavy
you about
gem.
vacation, it's different. You're like, oh yeah, that'd be nice. But if I tell you about creating a film because I bought a new thing, you're like, "Rah!" Because guess what? When
We're gonna have to play that back.
because
Put that in slow motion.
because when I unfortunately die one day and transfer into the next Earth number 4 on planet Zolar, which makes no sense.
I like that. It's almost like the Soul movie.
I love the fact that, you asked me about some movie earlier, but I love the fact that we love things other people left here for us to enjoy. I
That's
can't leave my job here for the world.
Mm-hmm.
What did he do?
Yeah.
What did he leave? I get jealous when I hear Elon Musk made it. Not that I have to be the guy that make the rocket, because that's not my personal thing. But it's like, damn.
Are you jealous or envious? There's 2 types. I always ask people.
I don't even know.
When you envy something, it's not like you hate on it. You're just like, damn, I want to encapsulate that. The feelings in that moment.
Yeah, I might have lost the wrong word. It's not even jealous.
Jealousy is like, ugh.
No. It's not hating. I'm just like, damn, I need to
you're
I
envious.
need to make my rocket ship.
Exactly.
I need to do more.
I think that's the beauty of it. And like we talk about that all the time. I'm like, maybe, I mean, there's different things of success, right? You might just be like, say we got like a record made, like a vinyl back in the day, right? Like my best friend's uncle was a accordion player, and we found one of his records in Tone's basement, which used to be the 3rd member of Benatton. And we're like, wow, it's a small world. So like, maybe you're that kid that just like ends up like sampling our record, and that record becomes big.
It doesn't mean
what
it
I'm
has to be famous or
No,
super,
but it has to be
You inspired one person.
Yeah, you gotta
inspirational.
like, come on,
Exactly.
like, so, like I said, they don't get that drug. So you have to give them that drug. That drug turns them into a child. Them turning into a child, what I mean is you're shutting off the dry,
Yeah, I have to act a certain
mundane.
way.
You turn that off and you bring the kid back out of them. Now they're willing to have fun. Most adults need alcohol to recreate that because it turns
Not too
off.
much.
Yeah.
We become psychologists literally in a lot of the fields of our work.
Funny thing is, that's a good transition to the marketing piece of Chris Porter, right? So I was talking to a friend of mine, right, that just started like his own OT practice. Shout out to Earl. So he does physical therapy. So he just started his own Instagram page, and I'm giving him like little gems here and there because I'm the social media marketing guy trying to like psychologize the fuck out of everybody, right? When I'm doing certain posts. So the most important thing that I told him was you will become a psychology major at the end of everything, because social media marketing is basically psychology. You have to figure out a way how people will gravitate towards your stuff, how they will engage with your stuff. And it's something from like the smallest thing. It's like he'll post a photo. I'm like, okay, what about this photo? I need a voiceover. You post a video with no sound. I need a sound. I need music. I need something that's you. You know what I mean? You love 90s hip hop. Why don't you just put a 90s hip hop song on top of this?
Yeah, well, I
That'll
mean,
bring
like from
people in, you know
from
what I mean?
cinema, we know that like to emphasize a visual or emotion of a visual, you need audio. Your audio's got to be as good as your visual. Like us, I feel like people tune in, even if it's 3 viewers, like you said, onto Terrible Reception Podcast, is at least the audio's clean.
I didn't look up your views.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like at least the audio's clean, so we got your attention that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you need something to emphasize the emotion of the visual.
Right. I want to get back to the psychology real quick.
Mhm.
Everything I talked about with whether it's walking up to, I call them a target because I do everything like I'm at war.
No, yeah.
But walking up to
It's true, though.
someone you need something from controlling a crowd and me telling you about my outer body experience. I'm out of body because my it's muscle memory. I know my music. I know what my body's physically supposed to be doing. My brain comes out of my mind and I'm looking at the crowd like this. Okay, is this going good?
Right.
What are they doing? That's not working over there. Yo, Chris, move over there. I'm literally like behind me.
Yeah.
That's fire.
You know what I'm saying?
Navigating yourself.
Yeah, like move this. You know what? This is not working. Cut the music.
Try this.
Oh, yo, please. I know we both have busy schedules, and I know we're in a pandemic.
Yeah.
But when this is done, you guys have to please come to one of my events.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Like you.
You don't have to
please.
ask us.
Yeah, like,
I'm there.
Like you don't understand, like because once you're at a certain level, you know, like people say control the crowd. What they mean is like they had people screaming and raising their hands. Like if I see things going wrong, and what I mean wrong is it's not 100. Like
Right.
you said with Kobe.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, you know what? And I do this all the time. Imagine being my DJ. It's the scariest thing in the world being my DJ. I'll turn around and be like, you know
You
what?
better not be on his phone.
Yeah, but like, you know what? Cut the music.
Mm.
Let me tell you something. For 99.9999% of all people who rap, MC, any of that stuff, the music and silence with a crowd in front of you is the most
Terrifying.
uncomfortable moment in your
fucking
life.
terrifying, yeah.
And you know, that's the moment that makes me come alive. Because now I have your full attention. Because you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
What every word that comes out of your mouth, the tone you say it in, what you say
Focus.
is, and that's when
That's why I feel like certain people
you
like
talked about the iPod, right?
Yeah.
There was no music when that first happened.
no.
I just said,
Yeah.
so
I have this
who
iPod
wants this
shuffle.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it
gonna
was
say no,
it was a lot more hype than that. You know what I'm saying? But like, that's the thing. Like,
And I didn't start until and there was audio. You notice that?
Yeah.
I did not start the music until I had you, and I'm
and
making
not
it-
everybody can. Not everybody can be Busta Rhymes too, because like
No.
he's just got a voice that he was born with.
Yeah.
That just like boom, like that voice hits you. It's like,
And
you know,
also,
like
you didn't hear about the prep. So I did say I made that call, right? Do you know what I did? I want my show to be better than anyone who else is going to do it, right? I went
Trying
to
to show us
every
out.
I went to every car. Yo, what's up? Oh, this is fire. I don't care about your little plastic rim under your Civic. I don't care.
you hyped them up.
Sorry,
you
car
got to the
people.
ego.
And I'm blah, 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 blah. I go crazy. Yo, by the way, I'm performing later, bro.
It's
I'm giving away
recognition.
some t-shirts, blah, 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 whatever. I know it's, you're out here.
You were collecting teammates.
Have a little fun. You know, yo, that's cool, man. And you're ding, ding, ding. What time? What time? 7:15. Now you have 100% of a crowd. 30% are coming because you're cool with them. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are already, 20% are already there because they're down with just seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I have my gift I'm giving out. And then what happens is you have 70%. I didn't do the math, probably totally messed it up. But to
You're
get
at about 150 right now.
to,
You're a little over.
to get to the rest of the people, back to what you said in the beginning of the podcast, I don't need to. Because of the rest of the people, the crowd brings the rest of the crowd.
Right.
Now you're like, and all the other rappers on the side like, that's not fair.
Was that us?
Yeah.
This motherfucker in his iPod.
We gotta go next.
I want to.
Do you have the other song?
But see,
I don't care if it's not mixed.
you had all that, right? And we were still in the beginning stages of figuring ourselves out,
Yeah,
right?
of
Because
course.
we were
Me
still
too,
a 3-man group, right?
Yeah.
Now we're a 2-man group. But back then, we're still that was like our biggest crowd at the time. So, but what we did was we always brought at least 10 to 15 people with us. And
Oh, that's a
those
good thing, too.
people
Yeah,
will
yeah.
grab people to come here
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
oh, who are these people paying attention to?
Yeah, yeah,
Who
yeah.
are they making noise for?
Yeah.
And that's
That
your
always
little
helps.
crowd
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
recruited with the
Mhm.
cars and stuff like that. So that helped us a lot. So that's another little gem for you.
I wanted
artists.
to kind of delve into like the other side because again, you always have to put on a show for people, right? You have to put on the show. Maybe there's like a couple things like you want to speak on that you feel is like really important for people to hear. That's like you. It could be from your personal life, maybe your weaknesses versus like your pros. Like, is there anything like you feel like there's something that you got to share? Just like because again, like we can go days on days. Like
I mean, it's all there. I done
Yeah.
said a few.
Yeah. No,
I mean, it came naturally, yeah.
Yeah, like you gotta understand, like even with the advice I gave when it was coming, like you and money, you and money, like literally, like figure out how to get the bag because you need freedom. It sucks, I know.
yeah.
We all want to get a fair shot and we all want to get put on because we're talented in whatever field but it's not how it works.
My grandpa always said, "Money is convenience, and convenience is freedom."
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You need that. You need enough to make mistakes
Mm-hmm.
and still be able to have more to fix those things. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when Water Dance came out, we didn't have any money, and even with the money that the label was spending on us incorrectly, I almost begged for a small amount to be allocated to do a choreography video, and nobody understood what I meant because it wasn't a thing. If you look back and go to 2015, they were
You
doing
were ahead of your time.
yeah,
with
they were
That
doing
is fun,
they were doing choreography videos. Of course, that's forever. But it wasn't like an artist going to LA and doing the whole thing. And if you notice, after I did that, the label started doing that with the artists in the same room, in the same places. I have a few instances where that was copied, and I don't let that break my heart. I say to myself, "Oh, you are the marketing guy," because all the big businesses kind of do what you set out. You know what I'm saying?
We always have a fear, like as artists, like about age and lifestyle, like of our personal lifestyles, and like like we start growing too. Like you said, like the marketing is more important to you. Really, at the end of the day,
It's fun.
It's more fun to you. It's
I'm still being the conductor.
exactly. Are you okay? I'm saying, are you okay with that? Like, do you see a comeback of CPO or Chris Porter as an artist, or you're like, you know what? I'm gonna leave that there, and I'm cool with that because I have something bigger planned.
I had that thought of what you're saying a year ago, and then I realized, like, wait, you're thinking about your song again by even saying that. You're doing marketing, right? In the music world, in the commercial world, because you're a creator.
Yeah.
Now I'm a conductor. I like that, right?
Yeah.
Right? You do this. Everything we talked about is creating moments and creating feelings and creating movement. So wait a second. You're doing it for others because you're good at it. You're going to get money from it and you enjoy it while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Wait.
And a conductor creates electricity, creates energy. So also play on words.
Right. So now check this out. I don't think you should limit yourself. Because if you say, I'm going to leave this and do this, that's great. There's times you lean and focus on the thing that's going to bring in the dollars to give you the freedom.
Jay spoke on it last time. He says, like, pivoting. He's like, COVID came, you got to pivot.
Right.
It doesn't mean you got to lose the game.
Right.
But you got to pivot.
So I think to myself, I'm here to make people smile. I'm put on this earth to make people smile, laugh, dance, create for them. Create with them.
Oh, you do a goddamn good job of it.
Yes, you do.
But I think the position I'm about to put myself in is going to be in a way I can do that for them and me at the highest level. Because guess what? Let's say I am a rapper, which is very niche when I start thinking of it. I'm like, yo, am I just that? You know what I'm saying? So think about that and think about what they do and think about them being on tour and being in the studio all the time and doing that stuff, which is fun. That's part of my life, right? But I started thinking like, wait a second, is that who I really am as a job title? Or am I more like a Pharrell character, the guy who drops a fire song with a fire video on a Tuesday for no reason?
And he's got a whole Disney album in the background.
And then he's doing Despicable Me out of nowhere. Like I'm like, that's literally that is fun. That is the conductor.
I feel like I have those complexities too, like where I fall back and I feel like I have some, like if we're talking about books open, there's so many chapters open and I'm like, damn, do I revisit them? Or like the other day I made a post. I'm like, yo, my production days aren't over. Like when I played songs for you in the car and you were like, because he
were
was ready
ready.
to trash on me.
Yeah.
He was ready to trash on me. He was like, yo.
I told him before he put it on, this is about to be trash.
Right? And I was like, yo.
Yeah, I told him, before he pressed play, I was like, yo, I guarantee your beats are trash. Like, I can guarantee.
Were they?
And I love that.
Yeah, crazy production.
And I was like,
there were still beats. There were still beats.
Yeah.
They needed me to move
Right.
out the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Move the man in the middle out the way.
Absolutely.
But I was like, fuck, I missed that feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of me. Like before we did music as a group, I was just a guy that fucking played with sounds. You know what I'm saying? I made shit. Just the same way that you're like, yo, how'd you do that with the coloring? It's like we had people like the Soul Diggers, like, how are you doing that with sounds? And like these are the people that already had Missy in the bag, Madonna. So it was like for us to catch their ear and have them come to a dirty ass basement that like 3 to 4 dudes lived in just to know what the fuck was going on. Like to me, like
well, here's the key. Here's what's gonna fix everything for you, me, and we. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's where you position what you do, and that's where we go to die. I positioned rapping and being a rapper in the middle, right? But you do this, you got this. You have to move those things around. The one that goes in the middle is the one that helps feed the others.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That one gets money. It's not easier, but it's the engine. If you put the wrong one in the middle, it's not gonna work the same.
Correctly, yeah.
You know
it's
what I'm
funny
saying?
because this is in the middle when you look at it from the top, but then you see things on the side and then the front. You're like, which one's the real middle in this 4D element? You know
that's
what I'm
one of the things I believe I did wrong on my whole thing is because, like, what are you talking? You made the water dance, right? And people love it, right? And wait, you have other songs that are just as good, if not better. Yo, why didn't you use all this magic and networking skills to get those placed in other people? I know you wanted to be the star because you put that in the middle.
Right.
If that wasn't the middle guy, you'd be like, who cares? Pharrell is doing, or not Bad Bunny. J Balvin has that this month, why don't you boom, wham? You got 50K, wham, 50K. You're getting $10,000 residuals, blah blah, and now you have the freedom. You could be whatever you want to be now.
Do whatever the fuck.
Because as artists, like I said, we looked at adults as being boring, and we're all adults talking about adults being boring, which is the weirdest thing because we live in a different world when you're the artist because we're a bunch of Peter Pans.
That's true.
You know what I'm
the best
saying?
way to put it.
Yeah, you're like a bunch of Peter Pans, and the adults.
Do you think
are the
that
guys at home.
do you think that we forget to be? We forget that we're the atom to the nucleus. Like there's one step of like there's the nucleus that's like Jay Suarez, that's Chris Porter, that's like Rich Copier, and then it's like ahead of that is kind of like, oh, that little piece was like rapper, this little piece was photographer, but like at the end of the day, you are the brain, like just you by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. You float off and you get trapped in your one thing you're doing at the moment. Once again, going all the way back to the beginning, like playing chess and waking up and not letting life take you on the ride. Because then you'll wake up 5 years later like, bro, should have been shooting videos. The first video I ever shot was 10 years ago with Critic. Ended up on BET. It was with a T2i Canon in one room against a white wall. I did not use the hookup or anything. They called me, said, this is dope. Yeah. Can we put it on?
That's dope.
I should have been doing that for other people the whole way.
Yeah.
It's use your tools to make money because you need the freedom. The problem with people like us is
we should have sold the drugs instead of taking them because we like the high.
Yes. The problem with us is like we don't love the money. We love the feeling. We love creating. So we don't focus on the dollars. We want them to come. Obviously, we want them to come, but we want them to come through the work we do, and we want to get paid and just given the money we think we deserve. Because
we spend money to be openers, but that feeling is never fucking matched.
Right.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
you're never the headliner.
Yeah, and I saw it when money was put into the water dance, which is, I would say, was about 15 to 10% of what a record should be financed at.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it was over.
A very small amount.
Oh, very small.
It should have been way more.
Oh, my God. You need at least $250,000 if you want to compete, right? Because what happens when you put out a song? People think like, yeah, I put out a song. When you put out a song, it goes in the same streaming services, in the same places that Rihanna
Billions
and Drake.
billions.
And that's your competition. Because when it's not like back in the days where someone's selling you their music hand to hand. It's like, yo, they're scrolling on this thing.
Yo.
You know what I'm
Crazy.
saying?
Mhm.
So do you feel like the T2I guy can still compete with the guy that shot on an Ari with a whole crew and blah, blah, blah?
I think I'm gonna keep it funky with you. I'll break my own heart saying this because I've been following you buying all this expensive stuff. But I'm pretty sure if I used an iPhone 12, I could smash a lot of people because at the end of the day, what I showed you earlier, that crazy the mouth thing, it's about making people stop.
Right.
It doesn't matter. That was like I said, 180p. No, other than us and people like us and
You mean
commercial
1080p?
people. No, I meant 180. Because it was so
180?
bad.
Oh, just
The
180.
quality was shitty, yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Once again, if you're a conductor, they don't care.
Yeah.
They do what they care about. They
It's a vibe.
don't care.
That's true.
Mhm.
They really don't.
The end customer, it's what they care about. Once again, going back to connecting everything together with the Instagram, it's like, yo, do they care about this? Are you giving any value to them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I look good in this T-shirt I just got, but like, look at you guys, and this is crazy. If you really want to learn how to market better, look at the people around you who are your friends who like you. Jay doesn't like all of my posts, even if he sees my posts. He'll scroll past my posts. He might even like my posts, but not double tap on it because it subconsciously it wasn't enough to trigger him. In the same way, it's the weirdest thing. It's like I like that guy. I'm cool with him. I'll do anything. We'll make beats together and everything. But it's
Like
like
you said, we're gonna make pizza together.
He
He'll
brought
make
those damn
pizza,
iPods that
you know
when
what I
they
mean?
fuck him. Nah.
But you'll still swipe through because you're already
It doesn't
swiping.
catch your
and
attention.
you'll see it and you'll be like, oh, there's Chris. Chris is cool. But you're not stopping because you also forget that double tap business wise can help other people double tap.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So like if you can make, I don't want to say friends, but if you can make the people who like you react, that's a good start.
Without asking them to react.
That's good. You know, you make people stop and be like, yo, good or bad. It could be.
Yeah, when they get into typing mode, that's a whole nother extension of somebody's attention.
You affect it. And that's why right now I'm trying to figure out with what I'm doing with social media and helping other people with social media. Right now I'm being honest with everybody. I'm like, yo, I'm not an expert yet. What I'm doing now is I'm positioning myself to be one. I'm experimenting for my own self and I'm seeing what works. So I was making those carousels because I was adding value for people, right? And I see them rocking for other people. And they weren't really, my first one rocked, but the other ones in the middle didn't rock. And then another one rocked. I'm like, to me, all the writing was on point and the designing was pretty cool. I'm not a designer. But I noticed the ones that didn't have my face attached to the first carousel did not work as good.
You know, it's funny. I was just about to say that one of the things that I have learned from social media marketing research is just that you always do the biggest crop, the 4:5 ratio crop, and you always have to have a portrait of some kind, either of yourself, if you're marketing yourself, or you're marketing a product. You always have to have a face. People get attracted to faces.
Okay, so my others did have faces, but they weren't me.
Okay.
And this is
but it's your page.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Right, but it's only specific to me, I think. Because only because I was already and am already a brand beforehand. So they're used to seeing me and delivering. Now I'm delivering something of value, but like there's a Spanish girl on the thing delivering it. She could be on the second or third slide, but they want me to take my face and put it on the girl or something. Because then that attaches them to the thing. But
I never want to see you with. I never want to see you with breasts and a big booty.
You'll double tap.
But see, that's
You'll double tap.
That's the thing about branding, right? So you, Chris Porter, as the brand, right? Somebody's scrolling through it. They see an unrecognizable face. Let's say that female that you put first. They'll probably scroll right through it, especially if it's their friend.
Yeah.
But if it's you, your big face right there, explaining something, they're more likely to stop and double tap or even just look at it.
Right. And I didn't realize that because the guys who I was following and learned from with the carousel thing, they're all designers and don't use their face. And they grow their pages very fast and very well, but because they're invisible man anyway.
Right. Yeah.
With me, it made me less, it took away my superpowers. Like, bruh, you done spent years branding yourself, and now you're taking yourself out.
You're taking it out of the
But
picture.
I didn't know that until I was
The way that sexuality could be marketed is like you try to get in that same bag with your like cinematography.
How'd you
like,
get to sexuality?
Because it's like OnlyFans
sexuality
became
or
so
food?
big. Like, first of all, all right, you come across like depending on what you're attracted to, you might see like muscles, you might see like cleavage or whatever, and then it's like, all right, cool. You follow that person. Because like again, the most minimal human attraction in that form is like sexuality, like sex sells, right? So then it's like, how do you bring people to like, to comment, and then third step, right? Your YouTube, your website, what you're selling. How do you get them to your OnlyFans? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it in that. I'm just saying in that way because
good enough product.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm saying if
value,
you are your product,
you give them value and you give them it consistently until the point that you become the go-to person for the thing they like.
exactly.
Right. So like, I'm sure you follow a lot of camera people.
Yeah.
I sound like a person that definitely doesn't do any video stuff, right?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Camera people.
I bet you're a camera person.
You're a camera nerd, right?
you know what I'm saying? But like, you get, and that's why
You're the type when you type in red camera, people are showing up with like the little
that was me.
little stop and shoot cameras. You're like, and it's colored red. You're like, oh, this must be a red camera.
Right, it must be a red camera. But yeah, like you follow. It's funny because most of the people you follow are from when you first got on that media platform, and they're your friends and the same people that you got from Facebook, which are half of the people you got from MySpace. And then you realize, like, why am I following you?
Right.
And you don't want to unfollow them because then you feel like you're being disrespectful.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be like, I'm special and you should follow me.
That's always a weird like.
You should follow me because I'm cool, but I don't need to follow you. And you know what's really bad about that? At some point, if your page is attached to business, not if it's a business page, but if your page is attached to business, at some point, you kind of got to do that.
Yeah.
It becomes a numbers game. It's like, yo, I don't want you here because you know me or like me. I want you here because you like me, or you like what I'm. You're actually. I don't want you here just because you're not helping me.
Right.
We're hurting each other.
You
know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Unless you're just a fan of the person in life and you're rooting for them all the time. And I have people like that. No matter what I do, they're
Isn't
like,
it weird? Isn't that weird that
you.
like social media has like a certain etiquette to it? It's like you kind of come across those things. You're like, I don't want to unfollow you because then you're gonna catch feelings or this or that.
But there's power behind that, right? And I always tell you too that I always go. And I think I mentioned to you earlier, where I was like, I go on these deleting binges. Like if my timeline doesn't make me happy. It's kind of like Marie Kondo. Remember when Marie Kondo was a thing? That super organizer Japanese lady?
Yeah.
If it doesn't bring you joy, why are you going to put it in front of yourself?
Yeah,
that's true.
Every day, all day.
Right. And you're scrolling through this all day subconsciously and you're seeing all these things that piss you off. So why are you putting that? I'm unfollowing you.
Yeah. I think that's why I kind of like stayed off Instagram for a while. And it's kind of like it's hurting me because it's like, that's a
Especially
reminder.
with you when you want everything to be aesthetically magnificent.
I feel like
why are these posts all different? Even though they're different people.
I feel like a snob of cameras now, like Frasier. I'm like, oh, this is not a 1938 Pui Fusé.
Yeah, I think I actually have to do that. I'm in a different position, and like I'm not afraid to tell everybody too, because some people are like, yo, how come y'all want to mess with what you're doing, and you're verified and everything, but like, how come you have so many followers and your views aren't matching up, blah, blah, blah. But like, well, check Kim Kardashian. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But I signed up with a digital agency company. I don't want to say signed up because that sounds like a big deal. I just paid them and used them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And back in the day when Instagram was still fresh to us, they tricked me by saying they're going to get me all these followers. And they got me fake followers. I didn't know what that was back then. I thought I was booming.
Yeah.
So now you have, here's what's really bad about me.
Spitting in the wind.
Yeah. Now you have people who you have from Facebook and MySpace and grew up with, played basketball with, went to college, went to high school with. Then you have a bunch of fake bot pages.
Bots,
And then you go viral around the world. That's good and bad. Because people love you in that moment for what you did in that moment. And there's some people that stay and want to ride with you the whole time. But then you have some of them die off. Then you have a bunch of kids, and a bunch could mean 100 or thousands. I don't know the numbers, but were 9 and 8 years old that just had Instagram for the moment who are no longer on their
active.
pages. Then you have, because you're going viral, other bots come to you. You know what I'm saying, for ads. So you got 27. I got probably 27,000, 28,000 people right now. I don't know what it is. It could be 10,000 junk. And because of the algorithm, all the real people aren't seeing you.
Jesus
so now we're going through
Christ.
the slow, methodical process because you can't do it fast because you're going to get flagged for looking like a bot.
It's like digital hoarders. You're
Really
like,
is.
ew, this is disgusting.
It's kind of like running through a minefield. It's like you have to make the certain step at the right time with the right people. It's freaking annoying. Like I was on our page for that Bernie post that I made the other day, and I'm like liking all the comments, and then I was going to reply to all the comments. They're like, "Oh, your activity is too suspicious. You're doing too much at one time." I'm like, "This is my fucking page. I'm liking everybody, so I have to hold on to like the likes on my page." And I get where they're coming from because they're trying to limit the amount of bots on a page. But it gets really frustrating. You have to navigate it. Again, pivot and learn how to navigate that.
You got to pick like
That's a lot of
who
work.
you're going to respond
It's a lot
to.
of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot to digest. It's a lot to think about while you're doing all these things. Psychology at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, yeah. But I mean, you dropped a lot of great insight
I got like
and information.
90 days of this.
Yeah,
man.
we could do this all day.
No,
we
we
could
could
have you
definitely
back
do
again.
We're
But
gonna have you back.
an hour 41 minutes in, and
we're about to be on the Joe Rogan thing. Hour 3.
yeah,
like,
3
can you pass
hours.
me a drink over there? What is this?
But for-
Sunkist?
but for any-
to export a video.
No, but I'm thinking these podcasts, these these videos, whoever comes across it, if they do pay attention, they will learn a lot. Think about it. Like you're putting in an hour and 40 minutes, you're putting like 10, 15 plus years of experience into 140, and you're just skimming. You're just skimming.
Just skimming, yeah.
That's
I
why
think-
when you say if you don't give too much away, it's like it's impossible.
Yeah,
Right.
But the way I feel
It's
about
like- it's like-
no, the way I feel about cameras, looking at certain cinematography videos and stuff, is and like the big timers are talking, and it's that like one piece that just fucking connects it for you. And I feel like somebody it could be a young rapper or a young up and coming artist or performer, what the fuck it is.
Or an MC.
You're gonna give them that somewhere in this 140, 150.
And that's why I'm creating the How I Failed at Hip Hop, because it's showing you like, yo, I can save you so much money, so much time.
Yeah, that's what we try to do with a lot of people that it could be Earl doing his business, it could be like anybody on our end. That's what we try to do. We just try to break it down, say, listen, you got the talent, you're gonna have to learn along the way, but we can skip a couple things in line.
And that's what we try to do with this podcast too. That's initially why we started this podcast, because it's like we want to give people advice to skip of certain steps that didn't work for us. It may work for
Well,
you.
skip not the steps, the mistakes.
The mistakes,
the
exactly.
mistakes.
So
Indiana Jones, not that one. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Or
Like,
just pouring water all into this one glass when you should have equaled it out a
Right.
little bit. You know what I'm saying?
or
And
give them
it's-
advice.
Yo, and it's so sad that like how many I know it goes back to family and friends, but I'm like, we didn't just land on this earth. How come nobody told me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we have this discussion
Like,
on
oh
the
my
podcast. Yeah, like financial literacy. Like
Oh my
Nobody taught you
God.
you got to unlearn a lot to learn a lot of new things. You know what I'm saying? You know how many times I had to fuck up with the camera to fix what I did today behind the scenes? It's just like,
It's going back to the secret sauce thing. Nobody gives you what that secret sauce is. So that's why we always bring people onto the show that I feel that will give the secret sauce to the people that are listening. The 3 people that are listening.
you know what I'm saying?
And with that being said, thank you for tuning into the Terrible
Shout out to
Reception Podcast.
you.
Once again, plug yourself.
Yeah, plug your social media. Plug
Once
yourself.
again, my name is Chris Porter. My Instagram is This Is Chris Porter. And just hang out with me there, and I'll send you everywhere else you need to go.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It's been a pleasure, bro.
Thank you for
On and
joining
off
us, man.
air all the time.
It's been a long time coming. like
I
everybody
need
else.
this. I need it. That's why I wanted to start my podcast. I stopped thinking of it as a business. I'm like, yo, man, this is therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why we started.
You know,
Exactly.
it's just therapy. If it does something else later,
Yeah.
that's great. But
This
like,
whole concept came from us
At a diner.
talking shit about whoever we wanted to talk shit about, letting go of whatever we had to talk at a diner. And we said, let's just put microphones in front of
this?
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
If
basically
it
what
makes
it is.
us money, it makes us money.
Rich
If
is
not,
just like, let's go just buy the expensive one that we see on the radio and get 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
that's just funny. I was watching a YouTube video.
I had no doubt that was the way
Some
it went.
guy was like, start your podcast with $100 mic. And the next day, we're just like, there's $400 mics we need to get right now.
We
I
need
was
to get
like,
4 of them. But there's only 2 of us. But we're going to have guests and
yeah.
get 6.
We started off with 2.
I have 2 of the $100 mics. And they're amazing.
But how do you like the
My, my,
How do you like this?
my
bad boy?
main mic is a I don't know why we keep talking about numbers.
This is a lifestyle. Makes you want to talk different.
But people
it
ask
is.
us these questions, and it's like, you can have this $100 mic and do what you do, right? Same thing. I follow this guy on Instagram that does these amazing videos, amazing photography with his iPhone.
Yeah, there's some dude that kill
It's
it.
crazy.
And you feel so bad. You're like, yo, man, I spent all this money in this lens. This guy is yo, who is it? The Asian dude from New York?
No, it's a white European kid. His name is Jordy.
Okay.
I think I know who you're talking about. He does
yo,
like the Vogue ads. Did you see that guy?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I gotta
But
find
there's
him
an
on
Asian
TikTok.
dude, and he has a cell phone, fam, and he'll go to like Disney World or something, and like his transitions, and it's like his phone.
Oh, I know who you're talking
Well,
about.
we'll let you.
You're like, yo, what am I doing?
We'll let
I have
you-
a phone
My
already.
head hurts.
We'll let you guys exchange TikToks at the end of this session.
No, but I'm gonna show you this one guy I saw. He does these Vogue shoots from his house because he started during quarantine. And I'm like, what
I know who you're
cameras
talking
he's
about.
using?
Yeah, I don't know if
He's
this is a
using his fucking
podcast thing,
iPhone.
but us talking about this brought up one, and this is actually it is a podcast thing.
Okay.
I think I'm trying to foresee failures so I don't have to fail in the future for certain things.
Mm.
And I see something happening with creators of our caliber,
Okay.
right? We don't have fun in between the work. We have fun with the work. The problem with that is you end up not, because you're working for clients who don't have the dream budget that you need to make the most amazing things, you end up not doing the creative fun stuff that makes no money in between that actually catapults you to where you want to go.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Say it again.
It's like I don't know if I can.
It just
Chris-
came out.
camera.
Chris said we get so caught up with doing the gigs that don't pay whatever. We get caught up
You
with
don't
that.
do the fun shit in
You don't do
between.
the fun shit that actually like your real ideas that could catapult you more
like,
than
what
like
are you
the video.
doing?
Yes.
Like, yo, bro, like you're sitting on tens of $1,000s of camera gear, and you're trying to make this business, but it's like, yo, like, how come on Thursday when nobody didn't do any work, you guys aren't shooting a Skittles commercial or whatever you want?
Or just something for social
Just
media purposes.
amazing. Or do your own music video that's only 30 seconds. Like, yo, let's do the most amazing thing that only lasts 30 seconds. That's like we were talking about, like so jaw dropping. It's like, if you want to draw people in, like it can't just be for, like you have,
For money,
you're
yeah.
here to paint.
Yeah.
You're going to get more clients, more eyes, more likes because you're
Because you're having
using
fun.
and you're using your superpower.
Yeah, because nobody could do it
good.
like you. For real.
And that's why I'm saying when I was kidding, I wasn't kidding, but when I told you about once a week, once a month, making those kids songs or doing whatever, all I was trying to say is like, yo, fly, Superman. You're walking all day with your suitcase in your hand.
The funny thing you said that, because the
That's a
metaphor I was
rhyme.
going to make is when Superman's fighting crime, but he still took the time to fly Lois Lane to like a cool little like sunset. So it's kind of like that. So he's using his superpower to his advantage and still having fun at the same time, right?
That's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, okay.
No? It makes sense. It
I
makes
just
sense.
imagine you guys where
makes
Jay
sense in
picks
my
you.
head.
Jay's picking up Chris. And he's just like flying him to a sunset. He's like, "Is this what you were talking about?"
No, it makes sense in my head, but
No, I like it
I
though.
hope you know what I'm talking about.
I saw the sunset in my mind.
Once in a while,
we're
between
not-
doing the big
We're not
shit.
talking about our sexy voice.
No, but that's what I'm
podcast
saying.
voices
Like,
anymore.
it's just nuts to me. Like, you have videos, Rock has videos, I have things, everybody has things, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, and that's great, and everyone's not a team together, and I'm not saying that has to happen together, but it's like, bro, you have movie shooting equipment everywhere, and
And everybody's trying to just be solo dolo.
It's starting
When
to-
we know that Marvel is shot by
It's
like
starting to
thousands
become.
of
It's
people.
starting to become a job.
like we know everything we watch is,
Yeah.
and I'm not even, and I wasn't even going toward what you're saying now, which is also true, but I'm like, yo, like what? Oh my God! Can we do one more thing before we leave this podcast? That's driving me crazy.
It's the 50th episode, so 150.
Yeah,
there's no problem.
Go. But you got to finish it before the 50-second mark.
Right, like right. Done. Bye. But like it's that thing. Like you have to make something. Like why? Think about the videos. That
the problem with Chris, like I always feel like his eyes are gonna roll back, his mouth's gonna open, like oh,
He's
and
gonna
like
float out of his chair.
something is gonna be said that's just like out of body experience that like is sent from the gods. No, but continue.
No, but it's like yo, like it makes no sense. Like why? Because we're so attached to the money and like, yo, this has to be worth it to lug my shit around.
That's true.
Yeah, but if you want to, yo, what are you here for? And who do you want to draw in? It's not going to happen at the wedding. It's not going to happen with this guy who had $1,500 for
it's true.
You know what I'm saying? So either you give that guy a $10,000 video because you're going to use his product to sell the thing, or you make one for yourself, or you make a commercial that's worth that much that you want to sell the brands or whatever. But it's like, yo, how are you supposed to show everybody you can play basketball?
But that's how you get stuck as like the creepy wedding photographer. You're like, yo, how old is that dude? It's because you're like, that paid for my rent every month. Oh, take a picture of this little lady. And you're like, you end up being that guy, and it's just like
I know photographers who get to it
bills,
crazy. But but
no, but I'm saying
I don't know what they wanted to be.
It's how you go about it.
Right.
It's how you reflect, and you don't need yes men in your circle.
But listen, now going back, and I want to address this issue that you started earlier.
Yeah.
Of the thing where you say that creatively I haven't jumped full force, right? So my plan B has been
He was thinking about this the whole time.
I know he was. Yeah, I know he was.
Because we got off track. I didn't get a time to address it. And some people are gonna be like, "Yo, you're gonna let him talk to you like that?"
It wasn't a bad thing though.
No. I understand that. But what my explanation is, the plan B is always to support the plan A, right? And that's what you mentioned earlier, correct? So financially, you should be able to support your dream. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is if you have a financial backing to the point where you can at least pay your bills, you can say no to certain things. And remember when we had that big argument a couple months ago where I was like, the money means nothing to me. You tell me what you want to do and I'll do it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's basically what I was saying.
Dare you to say that to me. You're being a slave ship.
No, but basically what I'm saying
it's also being about being on the same page. Because if you're like the money don't matter or this or that, then you're not on the same page of going to the same place.
What I'm saying is the money means nothing to me. What meant more to me, what you thought about the situation, about that particular situation. But that's another story.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is if you have enough money to pay your bills with whatever it is that you're doing, you have the luxury to say yes or no to certain gigs. So you're not busting your ass doing the gig with the guy that's $1,500 because you have to pay your rent this month. You know what I mean? So now you're miserable doing this job and that brings your mental health down.
Well, there's two sides to it too, because you have a day job and then you have this as a side gig versus I made this my only gig. I made this my day hustle. So when you have your priorities.
Yeah, but how'd you do that?
How did I do that?
Yeah. I need to know that because I think you might sell drugs too.
No, everybody thinks I sell drugs. It's just because
sell herbs.
No. I had to like Jay said. The one thing he admires is that I kind of put my foot down with certain things, and it's acquired a certain. Again, we do good work at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, that's the beginning.
So like there's certain realtors, right? Like we have people that we work for like every other 2 months that hit us up to come back, right? That's a certain amount. You have weddings that they give you deposits for that we sell for a certain amount. But
I'm kind of like the water dance, everything we were talking about. I'm going before that because that sounds awesome. But something happened.
No, okay. So what I did, right, is I humbly was mopping floors and doing the waiter job for more than 10 years, right? I did weird ass gigs. I worked in the meatpacking district. I did all these things that weren't fulfilling, right? And yeah, it might have paid the bills, but I wasn't happy doing them. So I said, okay, what can I do to help people within my circle and still do what I love, right? Not from a music sense, because I knew music was dope, but it's not making me money, right? I wasn't taking it there. So picked up a camera. My first camera, I invested in was $500 from Best Buy. I put it on a credit card.
What was it?
It was a T2i.
T2i. I still got mine.
Yeah. No, so that's why I said, like, I never hate on the T2i, but I also know the T2i became nothing to me after a while once you surpass a certain level. So it's better to kind of invest in something that you can grow with rather than cap and you already spent $500 towards it versus something you could have spent $1,500 and call it a day. But that's besides the point. Is what I'm saying is that when you be like, I could like, for sure, I want to financially have all these other sources of income, like maybe create my own filters and have my own merch and rent out studios that I bought because, you know, I sold my first property and shit like that. It's not easy to do. You know that. Everybody knows that. But at the same time, it's like when you build something, again, you have a certain, you know, we get gigs because, yes, we got the microphone. Yes, we have the audio. We have everything. And we give it to a lower price than anybody else could. I mean, a competitive price. You know what I'm saying? It's still paying the bills. It's whatever. And it's like, it's hard. People don't realize that there's tons of times where he knows I was taking L's left and right. I was eating like, you know, leftover Chinese food rice. That's the only thing I had. I was on Goya rice and beans for years, sleeping on people's floors. I sacrificed a lot. It wasn't all fucking, you know. He moved me 6 times in my lifetime. So it's not like having like this apartment is like a big
step.
Like we were in a fucking closet last year.
So let me jump in, right? Because I'm gonna glue this thing together. Right?
You are a mediator right now?
Yeah. Because this all has to do with things that we talked about or I try to get across to you. Mm-hmm. Even if it's something that I should be doing, I'm not, but I throw it on him. Mm-hmm. And it seems to be, because we're creators, it's the same problems in a different world. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think the issue is not having the marketing sense and the business sense and to grow a financial thing that makes everything like that, right?
Yeah.
So in your position right now, you're in the king position, right? Because you have every piece of equipment needed to do anything, right?
Yeah.
But the issue is, if there's any issue in your mind, but I'm trying to make you a $10 million so I could borrow $500,000.
Yeah.
So it's having systems that make you money when you're not the guy with equipment in your hand or editing the thing, right?
Yeah.
So you're working in your business and not working on your business.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Because you're part of the every single gig. You know what I'm saying? It should be 5 weddings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can decide if you want to be at one because a client really likes you and really wants you to be there. So like if that part was really focused on my end and what I do, and like it changes everything immediately.
Yeah.
Because right now you're hunters. You're hunting for your food. Doom. You drag his ass back. You put him in a truck. You got to skin the guy. Yeah. But there's 50 other deer out there. Yeah. And there's other people with guns. It's like, yo.
It's a difference too because we came into the business as Benatton Music LLC and then we made Oneiphotography, the DBA. So we feel like that's connected in a sense sometimes. And we both put into it, but it's like I made Oneiphotography my day job. And then at the same time, it's like almost I'll hire you, quote unquote, as a sole contractor under like Oneiphotography because you're coming to gig for the day, but you're going back to a 9 to 5. So it's like it's harder to balance like a Oneiphotography when it's like you're thinking like, yeah, your business partners on Oneiphotography, you are to an extent, but we're almost coming into like both sole contractors because you'll go on your gigs, I'll go on my gigs, but are we on the same, you know what I'm saying? The same trajectory as like, it's like you'll have a massive income from it sometimes, but it's not your day job.
Yeah, but we've had this conversation before.
But that's what I'm saying about the A and B.
It can't be his day job because it doesn't pay enough to be his day job.
But that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
If I get to a point where the main goal is for this to eventually pay my bills. I have a car to pay for. I have a cell phone to pay for. I have a roof over my head to pay for. I have cable. I have internet. I have food. I have all these things to pay for. If the photography is not paying for that just yet, I can't leave my day job. So I can't get us to gigs if I don't have my car.
But I also said,
I can't communicate if I don't have my
We can't
phone.
have the gigs if we didn't have the gear. But it's also, we're equal on what we have to pay for.
And that's what
But
I'm
at the
saying.
same time, why I was saying, wasn't saying it from a bad standpoint. I say you got the juice, but until you believe you got the juice to charge the person you got the juice, you can't live that.
I have the juice, and I believe I have the juice.
No,
and
I said
I'm
you have the
telling
juice.
everybody I have the juice.
This part needs to be cut. This is funny. This is juiced out right now.
But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I don't feel that me having a day job to pay my bills to get by.
No, here's the problem. Oh my God, here's the problem from a mediator standpoint, right? The problem is you're both talking about feelings. Okay.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't have to do with the
once you, and this is where I run into all the time. Like once you just break it down into math, you find out how to build the equation. You think. And this is me reading this right now.
No, it's fine.
You think one of your problems are him. He thinks one of his problems are you, being there's not enough work for him to fully come over, right? But neither of you are building any type of system because the problem is the people and the money. You're not hunting. There's no one hunting for the money.
It's like having us as sole contractors rather than being on the same page because our worries are different and our priorities are different. So that's where it becomes the problem.
But you're seeing it as sole contractors rather than business partners, is what I'm saying.
No, because that's how it goes. Because if you have what you need from your day job, you're not worrying about this when this is my own. I'm saying it's different aspects. I'm saying it from my aspect. I'm saying you have your day job. So if that paid for your week, you're not stressing.
But it doesn't pay for my week. And that's what I'm saying.
It pays to a certain extent. I'm saying not every gig that I get, January is a slow month. But still, things came along that I can like take care of things. So it's like we have different lives, but similar problems. And that's the thing. It's like if I'm bringing you in, you're getting an extra $300 or you know what I'm saying? It's like
I'm just saying
on a certain gig
I'm just
or whatever.
You're still not solving the problem.
No.
But that's what I'm saying. I always get presented. We always.
Right. He's right from a business standpoint. He's right. He hires you as a contractor. This is all he does every single day, all day. And if he's not doing it, he's studying how to do it better, or I'm stealing some of his time to teach me how to do the little things. It's not your full-time thing. You may not be thinking about it all day or researching or going crazy about it. And that's fine. And you have to, and having a job that you don't like takes you out of the vibe of even, it takes your energy away. It's a different thing. Like, trust me.
So, as much as shitty customers take me out of the vibe, your day job takes you out of the vibe.
No, that's completely different.
But it's different.
No.
But I'm saying, that's why I'm saying they're different worlds, but they're kind of parallel at the same time.
No, because it's when you're working, and you like, I'm just saying the problem solving is where this has to come in because
I'm saying you do gigs, right? Where it's kind of like you charge a certain amount, which is way lower. One, you have the gear that's way quality, but you also have the talent. So when you put yourself in a certain bracket, especially for your own business, if that's the way you're seeing it, you're not helping to.
Yeah, but you're right when it comes to that. But it's still, if he had 10 of those, he wouldn't care because it would still make enough money.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is,
if you don't have 10, I've learned if I don't have 10, I gotta charge for that one that makes up for the 10 because I know that month is gonna be slow.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to do
that.
But
that makes you a bad business person, though.
No, not
because
in that
it makes
sense.
you make drastic decisions in positions that you shouldn't have to.
No, I'm not saying that's always the thing, but I'm saying when we're talking about pivoting, I'm saying that's not the case because this month I was able to charge high numbers for 3 different people because there's 3 different clients. But I'm saying if you or I continue going in a certain pace and don't change that, I don't know if I'm that good enough. You don't get to the goal, especially if we're on the same page, because then it's I'm bringing you in. I don't
think that's the problem.
No, but I'm saying if I bring you in for $300 for the day, it's we're not thinking about whatever. I'm just saying for a certain project, right? So it's the other day when we're doing an interview status.
I'll take the 300.
You know what I'm saying? You take the 300, you go, but it's
you give me an option of taking 300 to do something that I love or $100 to do something that makes me miserable. I'm going to take the 300. What's up, guys? This is Jay Suarez, one half of Terrible Reception Podcast. I wanted to apologize for ending that episode so abruptly. The episode went on for a little longer than anticipated, so we split it up into 2 pieces. Tune into next week for the continuation of the interview with Chris Porter. In the meantime, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a like, leave a comment, turn on that bell notification so you get a notification every time we drop an episode. Also, head over to Apple Podcasts, leave a rating, leave a review, and also head over to Spotify and follow the show. Thank you so much for your patience, and we'll see you next week.
1.